threw up the goal. I think Will passed me the ball, shot, scored.
Nice and brief.
We're live now. And we are live. Welcome back to the channel. It is Chosen Wisdom Football. And we are here for what is this? I call this the Community Shield. Is it still called the Community Shield? It doesn't. It doesn't matter. It is Arsenal versus Manchester City. Officially the first game. No, unofficially, I guess, the first game of the Premier League season, because it's not a Premier League game, you don't get points for it, but it is the first game of the official season. So big up everybody. I hope you're well. It is, almost 4 o'clock, of course, Sunday, UK local time. And I hope we get to see some good football. As Man United fans, it's good to understand what level the opposition is at. We've seen Man United, because this is still a glorified friendly, guys. And we've seen Man United yesterday. Big up everyone who saw the game yesterday. Have you had time to reflect on yesterday's performance, guys? Sorry, my eyes are killing. And also, different setup, guys. I'm not used to this. I'm used to the screen being half full with stats, and unfortunately I thought it would be, but it's not. So just getting used to this setup. A new setup, people. We're using StreamYard today, so a new setup as well. We're going to be using StreamYard. I think so far it's got its strengths and it's got its weaknesses, just like any other streaming software, but so far it's got a lot of strengths. And you've got the scroll bar at the bottom. Big up Turkish in the building, always. Turkish, the mod, always there. Always modding, always doing his thing. Big up Turkish, always supporting the channel. So what kind of game are we expecting today? Honestly, I don't think either team have changed much since last season. I don't know, apart from bringing in Bruno Guimaraes, which might solidify their midfield a bit more. It might increase Arsenal's by 1%, let's say. But neither team, I mean, Arsenal have Anderson. Does Anderson make them that much better? Does Anderson make Man City that much better? I don't know. My thing is, I don't know if the business that either team has done so far materially changes their outcome. Does the business that City have done make them favourites ahead of Arsenal? Or does the lack of business that Arsenal have done put them behind Man City? I don't think what they've done so far in the transfer window changes Arsenal being 1 and Man City being 2, essentially, is what I'm saying. I don't think so. That's the Arsenal team. You've got the same Odegaard, Lewis Skelly, and Bruno Guimaraes in midfield. Declan Rice on the bench. Very, very interesting on who are Man City playing. How are Man City lining up? Yeah, this is the first time the camera's captured the corner of my room and the poster. It never usually does do that. So let me see if I can set this up properly, guys. This person who set it up just didn't care. Cool. We'll go with this, guys. We'll go with this. New setup, trying a new thing. You know, trying a new thing. Big up people, man. Any predictions, people? Any score predictions? I don't know. Elliot Anderson starts 116 million. Phil Foden starts as well. I don't know. I'm going with the City win, I guess. And I'm going with a 2-1 Manchester City win. That's what I'm going with. Maresca. All these new managers this season. Maresca for City. Alonso for Chelsea. You know. Tottenham have their new manager. Newcastle have a new manager. Liverpool, of course, have Areola. All of these new managers, guys. All right, we're literally about to kick off, people. Yeah, yesterday's game is an interesting game. Even now, I'm thinking about yesterday's game, and I'm torn because I feel like yesterday's game, even though there will be people saying it's only preseason, and that's right, we should always remember that Carrick treated that game like a preseason game. Already finished 1-0, easy, so simple. Very, very good goal. Within 30 seconds, wow. Arsenal are all over Man City. The thing is, the continuity of Arsenal, the fact that they aren't changing much, they're just continuing from last season. They're still favourites. Man City have a new manager. They're gonna have to learn to play a new way of football. New midfielders. Arsenal just need to continue what they're doing. This pass here, man, my gosh. Oh, it could be offside though. Could be offside, but this. Is it Skelly? Was it Skelly? Oh, it was Skelly as well. What a pass, bro. What a pass from Martin Lewis Skelly. Look at this. Look at that. Nah, what a pass, bro, from Martin Lewis Skelly. Look at that ball there. The IQ, that's a high IQ pass, you know. That is a very high IQ pass, guys. Guys, I might have to leave and go get some food as well. In this game. Because I haven't eaten. That is a very high IQ pass, bro. Because even I didn't see that pass. And I always say this is why I say we are privileged in the way that we watch football because we get to see or we get to watch football from an angle, a perspective where we can see space because we're seeing it from above, which means we can much easier, see the space than they can. They're seeing it from eye level, from ground level. And we all play football. When it's ground level, it's not always easy to see the spaces. That pass there from Lewis Skelly, yeah. Oof. Bro, people need to start looking at Lewis Skelly and start taking this man seriously, bro. 19 years old, you know. 19, bro. Yeah, such an easy goal to concede as well, to be fair. But that pass, bro. I can't get over that pass from Martin Lewis Skelly. Well, that means Man City can't play some idiot football where you're just passing the ball around. Man City have to go and try to score. Oh, Semenyo's so bad, bro. I'm not gonna lie, yeah. Semenyo's overrated for me, bro. Oh, that was nice though. Semenyo's got some parts of his game, yeah. He's like the Brandon Bumo, Semenyo, in the sense that you watch Semenyo and you're like, this guy's rubbish, bro. He's rubbish, literally rubbish. And then you watch him, and other times he's like, he's a bit silky. Like he'll beat a man or he'll do something nice, and then you'll be like, oh, this is what people see in Semenyo. Oh, this is why Man City spent £65 million on him. But I don't know if you see those times often. I feel like his first 6 months since Man City bought him in January, I think Semenyo's has been underwhelming, bro. I think Semenyo's genuinely been underwhelming. So out of the two, Semenyo and Doku, I'm taking Doku over Semenyo, So I think at least Doku has that one-on-one, he can go one-on-one and maybe beat a man a bit more than Semenyo. Big up the chat, man. Smash your like or smash the like on your way in today, people. Big up yourselves, man. Big up yourselves. The thing about Arsenal, reason why they're also favourites to win the league again, is because their defensive structure is so good, bro. Arsenal just don't concede goals, man. This Foden, that was poor, bro. That touch was so bad. Oh, bro. Arsenal's defensive structure is still so good. Play 4 centre backs the way that Man City do. They get back quickly. They run and run and run. They work for each other. Riley. Okay. Arsenal on a counter-attack again. Oh, Madueke's just not good, bro. The one thing about Arsenal is their attack is still rubbish. Like they score goals here because of their cohesion, not because they've got great attackers. Madueke's not good, bro. No one can tell me he's great. We have better attackers than Arsenal. That's a fact. Look at Odegaard, nice. But their attackers they're genuinely not good, Arsenal. That's nice, Man City played out there. Semenyo with the ball. Yeah, there is a lot of space though. There are spaces. There's enough spaces in this game for both teams to do something. This game's not going to end 1-0 for sure. One thing Arsenal do well, yeah, is when players even get the ball in between the lines, receive the ball in between the lines, they close them down quickly. You know how yesterday I was talking about the fact that we weren't closing anyone down quickly at all. AC Milan had space, bro. So much space to play football. When it comes to closing people down, we were poor yesterday. And when I watch Arsenal play, anytime City fizz the ball into the lines to Foden or anyone he's trying to, play on a half turn, and Arsenal players behind them closing them down, bro. Look at Madueke. I still can't believe Arsenal won the league, bro. With Madueke won the Premier League, This is why I don't want to say anything. Some of the best footballers will never win the Premier League. But Madueke just won it. And not even that, Madueke went to the fucking World Cup with England. Bro, you don't need to be a good footballer to succeed in the Premier League. The media can just protect you all day long and you just make it. Look at Semenyo, nice. That's more like it, Semenyo, when he's direct. Yeah, you guys got to move Man City into. Yeah, give it to him, Guardiola. What you doing, bro? It's so poor, bro. Foden dropped deep, yeah, in that hole, in that gap, asking for the ball. And what does Guardiola do? That was just not serious, man. That was just not serious. Oh, food. Food, glorious food. What more could we ask for? The spaces are so condensed. Another thing Arsenal do well, when you watch Arsenal, in that middle of the park, yeah, the spaces are condensed as a motherfucker. I couldn't even see it. By the way, you're on the ball for Arsenal. Cinnamon tea. No, it's not cinnamon tea. It's just mint tea. You gotta drink your mint tea well, it's not morning, is it? You gotta drink your even in this heat, man. Sometimes you gotta drink some tea. Sweat it out and cool off a different way. By the way, from the ball. Well defended by Man City. Listen, both teams are trying to at least play football. While at the same time, I'm watching this Arsenal team and I'm watching how they attack, and I'm like, everything is so systematic. There's no like off the cuff stuff with Arsenal. It's just down the line, one, two, pull it back. It's all formulaic. It's formulaic. It's just everyone just doing what they've been told by Arteta. There's no another corner to Arsenal. Look at Arsenal trying to go for the penalty. Arsenal, I'm not gonna lie, bro. You're the team that should not be crying wolf, bro, when it comes to penalties, bro. Wow. I hate Gabriel. I think Gabriel, yeah, is one of the most dishonest, and therefore it makes him a very annoying player for everyone else who outside of Arsenal Football Club. Because you literally just saw this guy put his hand around that Man City player's neck and throw himself to the ground while saying, "Oh, I got fouled," and he does it all the time, bro. Like Gabriel's that defender that when he wants to be strong, he will muscle you off the ball and score that header. But then he'll throw himself onto the ground, if you blow wind in his eye and claim it's a free kick. Those sort of defenders, are very frustrating. Those defenders who, if you are an Arsenal fan, you enjoy that scumbaggery kind of defending. You know, Martinez does it sometimes for Man United. So if he plays for your team, you'll be like, yeah. But if he's playing against you, bro, it is one of the most frustrating experiences. Well done, Man City. Kovacic as well. Look at Kovacic. Play in the middle. Oh, bro. You know, sometimes when you see the passes on, and these guys look at these guys that's taking long on the ball. No speed. As soon as Man City get into this position, Arsenal get their players back. Look, Arsenal got all the players back behind the ball. And there's nothing they can do. There's nothing they can do. Look, and you're not going to break down a low block by everyone taking 5 touches on the ball. Everyone knows speed of play is how you break down low blocks. You have to move players out of position. You have to create space to play. So you move the ball, you keep moving in order to create space and drag players out. Move the centre back out of position. Move him. Wow, Calafiori. But also, what we're seeing is nothing really changed. It's still Man City the best football inside. Keep the ball better. And Arsenal might be the more organised defensively this season. You'll probably see more of the better football from Man City. But Arsenal will be, once again, a bit more dogged. Maybe a bit more resilient. If Arsenal win this game 1-0, I think it will just show us once again what kind of season we're going to have. And Arteta doesn't care. Because at the end of the day, if you're Arteta and you've been trying to play good football for 6 years and you haven't won the league, and then you managed to win the league, you finally managed to win the league by playing the worst, like the stinkiest brand of football you can play. Like there's penalties and corners, and you're going to think to yourself, rah, I'm going to continue. This is how I won the league. It's clearly worked. I'm going to continue doing it this way. Which means our Arsenal fans in for another season where they know they're not going to see good football. The thing is about this Man City possession, this is why it's like when Jose says you can control games without having the ball. Because Man City have had the ball, but they haven't even come anywhere close to scoring a goal. Like, it hasn't been anywhere close to scoring a goal. That was nice. See, like that, the way the Odegaard gave the ball, passed the ball and ran into a different space, Bruno's not doing it. Like, the one thing I noticed in our match yesterday, United's match, our midfielders, were so static, bro. The way that Odegaard just gave the ball to Bruno Guimaraes and he sprinted into a different position to receive the ball, bro. Nobody was doing that. Tielemans weren't sprinting nowhere to receive the ball. Bruno, it was all passable and standstill. Passable and standstill. Like, the way that our midfield three is going to work here is if they do the rondo thing and they keep moving, keep moving, keep moving. And there was no movement in our midfield, really. There was none. There was none. And the conversations about Bruno, I see them resurfacing. The thing about me in the conversations about Bruno is that I've wanted Bruno out of this football. Just like Rashford, Shaws, Maguire's, I've wanted a refresh. I've wanted a fresh start, from all of those players, for the last 3 years. For 3 years, oh my Lord, Riley, Haaland. I think the referee blew for a free kick there. I thought Man City were in there. Was it Foden? Foden's shot saved by the goalkeeper. No, I don't think that was a foul. That was a strength from Moradi. But I've wanted a fresh start from certain players for a long time, and Bruno is one of them. I've always said I hate the way that Bruno Fernandes dictates the way that the whole team plays. We can't play any other brand of football because we built a team around a human being who has limitations to the way he plays football. Because of Bruno's limitations, and he's the center of the team, Man United therefore have limitations. The way that we played in pre-season with the likes of Shea Lacey in the 10, and the way that we're moving the ball was much better than the static Bruno. I've always said many, many times, and I didn't want to be negative, and I don't want to bring it back up again because people say I'm a Bruno hater, and I don't respect his GA and all these things, and I do, but I've always said, GA aside, the way this guy plays football, he's a cure and he's a cause. He's playing in a position, the number 10 role, where I think he should just be any other player. He should just be an 8. It's the whole, let's get the best out of Bruno. Sometimes getting the best out of a player doesn't mean you might not get the best out of the whole team. Sometimes it means that. For 4 or 5 years now, we've sacrificed this whole team so Bruno can play 10. And what's happened? Finishing 15th, worst season. I'm not saying it's all Bruno's fault, but I'm saying this Bruno in the 10 thing, he's 31 now. He's not young. He's never been really a flair player, which means I don't think he should have been in a 10 anyway, because 10s are flair players, bro. They are. Oh, my Lord. Finish. Oh, gosh. This is painful for Man City. Man City look hopeless. All right, cool. Yeah, so I've always said you can be somebody who benefits from getting GA because you play in that position, because you take all the free kicks and all the penalties. You're on everything, so you will get the GA. But I've always said the minute we upgrade on Bruno, and we don't need to upgrade on Bruno and get a better footballer, we just need a better number 10. Oh, here we go, Semenyo. Oh, that was Doku. And there's one thing I also noticed in the game yesterday, guys, is we weren't good in the half spaces. We weren't good in between the lines. And Bruno's thing is in low blocks, we need people who are good in between the lines, like number 10s. Bruno's not it. Amorim dragged Bruno back to the double pivot, And because Bruno went back to the 10 and got 20 GA, people are like, oh, he should have always been. Sometimes, yeah, you can look at it as we've sacrificed Ahmad and other people's GA just so we can put Bruno in the 10 and get GA out of him. And sometimes getting GA out of one player, just like politics, getting investment growth from the rich people means our economy flourishes. But what about the poor people? Poor people's money ain't growing. So getting more out of Bruno, as we have done, or playing Bruno in his favorite position, or building a team around Bruno just hasn't worked, in my opinion. And I want to get to a stage where, for instance, if yesterday's game against AC Milan was a Premier League game and Bruno was playing that badly, I really want to get to a stage where Carrick doesn't see Bruno as some sort of like special player where he needs to keep playing. I want to get to a stage where if Bruno's playing badly, we just take him off, bro. We can just take him off and treat him like any other player. And when we get to that stage, I can rest happy. I can rest happy. Big up Acho in the building, my guy. Big up Atro. What are you making of the game so far, Atro? It's funny, I'm watching this game, Atro, and everything that's happened is as expected, if that makes sense. City are holding most of the possession. Arsenal are hitting them more on the break. Arsenal's attack is not that great. It's going to be Arsenal's attack against City's. I mean, Arsenal's defense against City's attack. Rodri's not playing, you know. It's not as Rodri's not playing. Yeah, Anderson, bro. Atro. I'm watching this game, yeah, and I'm like, what has Anderson done? 116. The thing about this, Atro, I know it's about football, is that Declan Rice, it's about narratives. The reason why Declan Rice is worth 150, he's not, by the way. The reason why he's worth 115 is simply because Arsenal won the league. That's it. They win the league, which means he's worth the money that they spent on him. And that's the logic. No, you can still win the league and he's still not worth the money, bro. Like, two things still can be true. I've said this before. The way that the season went, yeah, last season, Arsenal would have won the league if they had flipping Xhaka rather than Declan Rice. They still would have won it. If Arsenal had Xhaka instead of Declan Rice in that midfield, yeah, the way that the league went, yeah, they still would have won it. I don't see Declan Rice as that much better than Xhaka anyway. So it's narratives, bro. And Anderson, what, 116 million, bro? You're like, he's not going to be spoken about. And this is why I say, Man United fans, stop biting the bullet, yeah, about Sancho and Paul Pogba. Stop biting the bullets from other fans because they're allowed to do Mudrick's and make mistakes. Man City are allowed to make these mistakes constantly. They are constantly buying players and they're flopping. But no one talks about it because it's Man City. But because it's Man United, we bite the bullet and our fans are like, there you go, 2-0. Easy, bro. Such an easy goal, bro. Easy goal to concede. One ball, two, both. No, the first goal, yeah, from the assist from Miles Lewis Skelly for the first goal, that was chef's kiss, bro. That pass was crazy. It was a crazy ball. But this goal here, a ball into the box, and I'm pretty sure this new winger that Arsenal got, yeah, he's like the smallest man on the pitch. Look at this small Greek guy. And he managed to header it back across to Havertz, bro. Like, come on, man. These basic goals, man. So simple. Look. Simple, easy goal. one of the most basic goals, yeah, you will see in a long time. Man City are in trouble, bro. And the funny thing is, Atro and the chat, the reason why Arsenal won the league last year is because they were the most cohesive team. And I feel like one thing that we need to keep talking about is cohesion. If the players are used to the way the manager wants them to play, they've got used to it. It's been still like clockwork, you know. They buy a player, the player just slides in. Bruno Guimaraes doesn't need to do much, just slide into that place, into that position, and just continue doing what Arteta's been asking of the team. Like the team, like I said yesterday, last year with the whole Liverpool buying 4 players and East, I said, listen, Liverpool can buy all these players here, but they're gonna need to gel. Arsenal's players don't need to gel, bro. Arsenal are the most cohesive team in the league. Everyone knows what they're doing. No one's out of position. Everyone fights for the ball. Arsenal will win the league again this year. Not because they've got the best attack or because they got the best midfield. It's because they play the most cohesive brand of football. It's not the prettiest. It's not the best to look at, aesthetically pleasing, all of these words, but it's effective. Everyone knows what they're doing. And if you don't do your job, Arteta doesn't play you. End of story. Whereas for Man United, you're going to have Luke Shaw playing, and Luke Shaw's not going to be running up and down the flank like he's supposed to. You're going to have Bruno playing, and Bruno's not going to be able to play in between the lines like he's supposed to. And we're going to have players on the pitch for Man United who don't actually do the job the manager wants them to do, but Carrick will probably still play them. And that's my thing. That's my thing. So it is what it is. Yeah, but Anderson is yeah, bro. 116, 100. Thing is, we know it wasn't even 116 million actual. It was more than that. It was more than what was. We know it's about 120 or something. But Man City did the Man City thing. There he is. Here's Anderson now. Man ran forward. Anderson ran forward, then ran backwards to pass the ball backwards. You know when you just action for the sake of action. Yeah, I'm not impressed by Anderson at all. Acho says, my thoughts. Arsenal have worked City, to be honest. City haven't been great in possession, and Arsenal have been circulating the ball well. Yeah. What's happened is that Man City have never been able to play against Arsenal or to hit Arsenal on the break when they're out of shape. Like Man City only play football, only attack Arsenal once Arsenal are all back in their shape. Like right now, Man City have the ball. And Arsenal are in their low block. This is Arsenal's comfort zone. You need to understand you're not scoring against Arsenal when they're in this shape. Ever, ever, ever. You just don't. It doesn't happen. Right? So it's always going to be on a transition. The issue with Arsenal is that when you hit them on the break, they get back quickly. It's not like Man United, and you can't run past any Arsenal player the way you run past Tielemans. There's no player in the Arsenal midfield that you can do that to, right? So when Arsenal in their low block, Man City don't have a chance. Whereas when Man City are in their low block and Arsenal have the ball in Man City's half, Man City are getting dragged out of position left, right, and center. The best bit for City is that Doku won a 1v1. Then it went to be a corner. I say Xhaka is better than Rice. Bro, that's the point I'm making. I think Xhaka is better than Rice. But the point I'm making is, even if you don't think he's better than Rice and you think Rice is slightly better than Xhaka, that's worst case scenario. Like, I think City still win. Arsenal still win the league with Xhaka. It's not Declan Rice who won you the league, Arsenal. It's the narrative is wrong. It's the lack of competition is the reason why you won the league. There was no other team that was as complete as yours. You didn't have competition. Man City are still going through a transition, whereas you are not. You are the only team that is built, bro. You finished building your team, bro. There's no transition here with Arsenal. Arsenal's team building is done. 100 million defenders. The midfield is compact, complete. Only thing is their attack is, they've got enough attackers, but the attack is not good. Or their attackers. I don't think their attackers are that great. But they've got a style of play. They've got an attacking style. I will speak on it tomorrow, but all I say is the ballers ball. My half space demons, Ahmad, Jay-Z, and Lacey. But Carrie's got to be careful though, Atro. Chat, Carrie's got to be careful. I know we talk about tech midfield and, you know, we don't need for runners and physicality is less important. But, bro, I saw AC Milan physically dominate our midfield, bro. So Carrot is going to have to be very careful. Be very careful. Oh, Haaland's finish was poor. Yeah, that was it, Haaland. That was your chance, your only chance you're going to get. See that? The first time that City were allowed to run at Arsenal. The first time Doku got into that little half space between two players, they couldn't tackle him, and that finish from Haaland was poor, Atro. Very surprised with that finish. But one of the few times that Man City received the ball in some sort of half space and were allowed to turn. They were allowed to turn with it, guys. Fino, almost 3. Oh, he was offside. If anything, I think Xhaka would have had Arsenal playing better. Yeah, he would have. All that stuff that Declan Rice was doing, because he wasn't getting praised by his footballing ability. He was getting praised by running back and slide tackling and running. And I'm like, Xhaka was doing that for you lot, bro. Are you guys all right? The only thing, Declan Rice, can do that I haven't seen Xhaka do too much of is score free kicks, bro. Oh, I got booked for a dive. I thought that was going to be a penalty. Yeah, good. The thing is, I saw the Man City player pull out the tackle. Yeah. He pulled out the tackle. He dived. You dived, bro. This is crazy, footballers. Do you know what I thought, Actual, I thought with VAR and cameras everywhere, this is how I know people, human beings, are just deceitful. We are lying doesn't matter. You know, when every religion says that lying is bad, we don't give a fuck. We lie constantly. Even with the cameras around and VAR, these guys are diving, getting up from a dive and putting their hand, praying, like doing this. Please, I got fouled, bro. You did not get fouled, bro. Don't put your hand together and lie on God's name. Don't lie on God's name, bro. Like, I thought VAR, would bring a bit more honesty to these footballers and stop them from doing that bullshit. But it hasn't changed, bro. These guys are diving, knowing full well that VAR will check to see if they've been touched. They know this. The psychology is interesting. I guess it's just you're just used to diving, and it will take a while for you to not dive. I'm like, bro, why are you praying? Why are you putting your hands like this, bro? We can literally check the cameras, you know. We can actually do that. What are you doing? Oh wow, Doku. Oh, that touch there, though. The touch was a bit bang. Oh wow. Lucky. That should have been a goal. Should have been a goal. There's a new poll up, guys. Did we dodge a bullet? Doku almost. Oh my lord. Did we dodge a bullet with the Anderson signing? Should Man United, seeing what you've seen, all the hype about this guy, and also I want us to pay attention to the English media, who they build up and who they tear down. I want us to pay attention to the fact that Anderson is nowhere near that price, nowhere near that quality, but the English media hyped him up and created this. Not one player, not one journalist in the English media has come out and said he's not worth that money. And not one journalist has been honest. If that was Pogba and anyone else, the fee would be questioned more. But as usual, no. All these Andersons and these Declan Rice, all these Roy Keane midfielders, these are Roy Keane midfielders, right? Gattusos, these runner engine midfielders. These guys are not £100 million worth of player, bro. None of them. The Declan Rices, the Andersons, it's a disgrace to football that we're spending £120 million on players who run around and tackle. Pace and power, which is something that I disliked in this league. I dislike the running around and kicking and stuff. Yeah, I've always wanted tech. So the foreign managers have done well to produce technical English ballers. The Fodens and all these guys from the City academies and shit. We've done well, to move away from bullies and to produce technical footballers in this country. Let's not go back to thinking these bully sort of players who just run around and kick people are the best and are worth 100 million, but the tech tough players are not, bro. That's crazy to me. $116 million, Elliot Anderson. Oh yeah, Grealish is back at City, but because he was only on loan last season, wasn't he? The funny thing about Grealish, is that the best City side, over the last 4 years has been the side with Grealish in it. You know, when City don't understand what's making them good. People want to say what they want to say about Grealish and his GA, but he makes City play better, bro. He makes City play better, man. Grealish is funny. Grealish is a funny one. I've always said Grealish is a United player. You know, some players that I just finish or should have been 3, Calafiori. Grealish for me is a Man United player, bro. Imagine if you had Grealish in the 10 rather than Bruno for like the last 4 years. Just grip left and right, just sourcing. No, I'm still on that. We can still run the techie midfield. Just the 3 need to be on their P's and Q's with positioning. Not only that, actually, there has to be speed in their movement, bro. The problem I have at show is that the techie midfield, let's say the PSG, their movement is rapid. They're not stationary like Tielemans is. Tielemans doesn't move. I think you need to understand that. For instance, when in a techie midfield of 3, yeah, as soon as you pass the ball, yeah, you're probably going to be marked afterwards. You have to move into a different position to receive the ball. Those 3 has to be a pass and move midfield. It can't be Santos sits and doesn't move and just sits and passes, and then Tielemans receives the ball and just pass. Our midfielders are not moving. They're not moving. Tielemans doesn't move. And as far as I'm concerned, I haven't seen any rapid movement from Tielemans. No, like a pass and then run quickly into a different space to receive the ball, like the way Odegaard would, and the way that most of these Arsenal midfielders run, and then if there's a little space opening, get into the other space quickly if you can. We weren't doing that. And the only player that's got the license, who's got more license to move into different spaces and to utilize spaces, is Bruno, because he's the 10. And he's never been a guy, in my opinion, who plays the 10 in a way that plays a 10 in a way where he receives the ball in tight spaces. Bruno, when he plays 10, he prefers to face the goal rather than with his back to, we've said this many times, back to goal. He can't play with his back to goal in those lines. Hence why, under Amrim's system, Amrim wanted to buy actual 10s who could, close control, tight spaces, number 10s, rather than play Bruno there, which we understood. So, tech off midfield with mobility is essentially what I'm saying. And yeah, we will see. We will see. Because the problem is, oh wow, Arsenal almost scored the third. They're going to score a third, aren't they, Arsenal? Because the issue is, Atro, is that when we had the Santos, Mason Mount, and Shea Lacey midfield 3, guess what? 2 of those, Mason Mount and Shea Lacey, are mobile as fuck. Yeah. They're techie, but they're mobile as fuck. Whatever you say about Mason Mount, yeah, he doesn't stop running. Mobile. And Shea Lacey was trying to be mobile. Half time, guys, 2-0 to Arsenal. Right? So we don't need runners. We don't necessarily need the PMP player, but at least that midfield 3, they have to be a mobile midfield 3. It can't be we've got 2 players who just want to sit and not move and just pass the ball in Santos and Tielemans. So Carrick's gonna have to look at that, man. He's gonna have to look at that. Half time in the Community Shield, guys. Arsenal 2, Manchester City 0. It's turned into a decent game of football. It's the kind of game for me that I expected. Man City having more possession, but less of the attacking threat, which is a mixture of the fact that their attack isn't that great and the fact that Arsenal have the best defensive structure in the league. And attack win games, defense wins leagues. And Arsenal have shown that defense win leagues. The reason why we, Manchester United, will not win the league this year is primarily because of our defense and our defensive structure. It's not like Arsenal. It's not that good. So the game was going as I expected. The stats are on the screen. 41% possession for Arsenal. This feels like the AC Milan Man United game. But instead, where Arsenal are winning, the team with less possession is actually winning the game. Yeah, man, this StreamYard is cool, man. Putting up Atro's comment on the screen as well. We can do shit like that. It's really good, man. I'm digging the StreamYard shit. I'm digging the StreamYard stuff, guys. But yeah, it's frustrating. The reason why I'm frustrated winning this game, watching this game, should I say, is because it's reminding me of how last season went, how rubbish it was. And it's making me think that this season is going to be similar. It's making me believe that Arsenal are going to be hard to beat. They're not going to play They're not going to play great football. They're going to be resolute, sit back, do their set pieces thing, and it's going to be a similar season to last. And that does not fill me with any excitement because I think last season was one of the worst seasons in terms of entertainment, maybe, and the football that was on display. I didn't think it was great. I didn't think it was great. And watching this game is just reminding me that, are we going to have another season like last season at Tro? Are we going to have a season where for the first time in their history, Arsenal are going to retain the Premier League? Having Arsenal win the Premier League is one thing. Having Arsenal retain the Premier League is another. Man City are the only, for me, the only option we have, the only chance we have for taking the title from Arsenal. Because we're not, I don't think United are going to do. Based on what we have done in the transfer window to date, we are not ready. We're not ready, Man United. We're not. Dark Arts Arsenal. Yeah, agreed, Chosen, about the dives and the lion with VAR. But integrity is dead. Gotta get any advantage by any means. It's true. One thing that the likes of like Trump and all these guys have done is kill shame. There's no shame in anything. You can come out and be the biggest R word, the biggest misogyny, the biggest, all of these things that we were told that are really bad. You can be the biggest of all of these things. Woman hater, all of these things. And it doesn't matter anymore. There's no shame. Like the people above us in life, in this world, yeah, in positions have just done so much, yeah, that it's like there is no limit now. Like what FIFA are trying to do, selling off the World Cup to Americans, to the Epstein class. Like, these guys literally eat babies. They are wed kids, eat babies. They do the work, all the things, yeah, you think of in the worst, all the worst things you can ever possibly think of. Think of the worst eating think of the worst possible thing. These guys all do it in their little secret clubs, right? And they run the world. They're the richest people in the world now, all of these guys. So integrity is done now. Everything that they've told us not to do, the people at the top not to do, don't lie, don't steal, they all do it. And we know they all do it. And now we've got to raise a generation of kids, these little monsters, these little 10-year-olds who are just online from the age of 10 into these little corners of the internet, looking at all of these things, absorbing all of these things, and just terrorizing the fucking world by the age of 14. By the age of 14, their brain's fucked. And they're just terrorists. So integrity is dead, bro. If integrity is dead in normal life, in a sport, yeah, where there is cameras everywhere, a sport where there's VAR, these men will still lie. These men will still dive and do all of these things to get a competitive advantage. It's crazy. It's crazy. It is what it is. It is what it is. We all thought VAR was going to clean up some things. Has VAR stopped diving? No, people still dive. People still dive. It's weird, isn't it? Dark Arts Arsenal. Big up, guys. Big up the chat. Yeah, it's sad as well. Grealish got injured to the end of the Everton loan. Good to see him back post-surgery. I've always been a fan of Jack Grealish. Yes, he's coming, how old is he now? I assume is he approaching 30 or in his 30s yet? Jack Grealish, he's approaching towards the end, But Grealish is such a Man United player, bro. I love the way Jack Grealish. That's why I say, what's that Bournemouth guy? The Bournemouth midfielder. Alex Scott is like baby Grealish. Alex Scott is like Mason Mount and Grealish combined. And I've always said, Grealish, they don't appreciate you. Imagine if England played technical players. The Grealishes, the Fodens, the Cole Palmers a little bit. Those players are sometimes overlooked for the Declan Rices and shit, right? Imagine if we actually played our more technical footballers. Imagine if England respected Imagine if Jack Grealish was at the first name on the team sheet. I think Jack Grealish here was such a baller in his prime, bro, for Man City. And I feel like it's such a crime, that number 10s, like your Sanchos, like your Grealishes, number 10s now in football have to play out wide. Cole Palmer has to play on the right wing for Chelsea. Grealish has to play on the left. It's a crime that the football has become so like these guys could be 10s in Spain. These guys could be 10s in Italy. But in the Premier League, with the pace and power of the league, the technical footballers at the Grealishes have to now play out wide, even though they are number 10s, bro. Grealish is a 10. Always will be, always has been. Just like Cole Palmer's and all these guys, but they have to be played out wide. And people look at it like they're not good enough to play 10. No, the league is so crap. This is how I sometimes see it. This Premier League is so shit, that you guys have filled your football teams with robots and machines and athletes rather than technical footballers, to the point where technical footballers cannot survive. And when it's translated to the world stage, to the World Cups, when you try to do that same shit at World Cups, it doesn't work, because Spain's and all these other teams have the technical ballers to play you off the fucking park. So what translates to the Premier League at the micro level, it's all good. It's all good to only analyze the Premier League and analyze the Premier League independently away from other leagues, to say, you can't survive in this league because you don't have the pace, blah, 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 blah. Great. You don't have the pace, don't have the power, you can't play here. And we say that it means a player's not good enough. No, it doesn't mean they're not good enough. It means the league is different. You like different things. So you promote and advocate for a more robust style of play. And that has something to do with the players you produce. The Brazilians and the Spanish produce technical footballers. We do not, which means our nature is to overinflate the English basic ballers. Because there are ballers. There are ballers, right? They're English. So we're always going to protect them. And we're always going to position them higher than other foreign ballers. The way that we talk about Declan Rice in England, it does not translate abroad. Nobody abroad, is talking about Declan Rice, the way that the English people talk about him. Because they understand what technical footballers look like. They understand what Rodri looked like, a Xavi looks like. They can't rate Declan Rice. They can't. Run around. That's being a good athlete. Great. We got Frankie de Jongs and shit. They can't rate Declan. But we do. We think he's the best player in the world. Right? So, I don't know, guys. Football is fascinating. The way that it's interpreted in different countries. The way that you can clearly see how a country's way of thinking, a country's culture produces footballers. The Brazilian dancing, the Brazilian flair, and the relaxed nature of the Brazilians create that Brazilian footballer. The Spanishness, the Spanish culture will create a certain type of football. The English, boring, basic fish and chips, potatoes, and bangers and mash will produce. And the way that the English view things, all right, it's all about running, it's all about giving it your all right, mate, and kick. You therefore produce a certain type of footballer. Thank God for the foreign coaches. Thank God for the Scottish man called Ferguson, the French man called Wenger, the Portuguese Mourinho, the Spanish Pep. Thank God for all of these guys who brought us the Henrys, the Zolas, all these technical footballers while we were just doing 4-4-2, crossing the ball in with our Alan Shearers. These guys were like, no, let's do 4-3-3. Let's do. Wenger brought in the whole tiki-taka stuff for Arsenal before flipping Pep did. We were like, what is this? All the English guys were like, what is this? When the first Brazilian came to England and started doing stepovers, why you didn't step? Ronaldo, why you didn't step overs? Why are you trying to make us look? Remember they were saying, why are you trying to make us look stupid? Why are you trying to make us slip and fall? And why are you trying to nutmeg us and make us look foolish? Football's not about making us look foolish. Where's the end product? Step on, shut up. Shut up. And enjoy the artistry of football. Football is a sport, yes. It's about winning, yes. But we all gather to watch it because of the artistry, bro. If we didn't care about the artistry, then we wouldn't watch football and we would just wait until the results and be like, oh, what happened? What was the score? Oh, Man United won. Yay! We spend 90 minutes here to watch it for entertainment, bro. While some people are only entertained by the goals. They'll sit there and they'll be like this. Goal! Yeah, entertained. Wait half an hour. Goal! And they're only entertained by just the goals. I'm not. I'm entertained by the football, by the whole process, the whole 90-minute process. If you nutmeg a man, I'll be entertained. If you do a bit of skill, I'll be entertained. GA isn't the only thing that entertains me, bro. And it shouldn't be the only thing that entertains you. The means to an end or end to the means. Right? To get to the end, there has to be a way. And the process has to be enjoyable to watch. Otherwise, I'm not watching it. And if you're telling me the only thing that matters is the score, then why am I watching the game? Why am I watching the game? Football is so fascinating to me, guys. It can be interpreted in so many different ways to the point where there's no right or wrong. As much as we want to do this, there's a right or wrong way of playing. We've seen so many coaches, so many different approaches to this game. So many different approaches be successful. And that's why diverse opinions matter, bro. Because there isn't really, sometimes there is, but often there isn't a right or wrong. Sorry, guys, I've been going off on one. I literally went off on one, bro. I literally went off. I don't think I stopped talking. I don't think I stopped talking. I just went off, bro. Maresca getting sacked, Jerry. Big up Jerry. Jerry just came in with a screwdriver and just twisted it. Maresca's getting sacked. You're getting sacked in the morning. You're getting sacked in the morning. Atro says, we are not ready, but I don't see Arsenal retaining. Atro, I want your optimism, bro. I see Arsenal retaining. I see Arsenal retaining for the same reason why they won it last year. I don't think nothing has changed from last year to this year for me to say Arsenal. Something has to change for me to say that Arsenal are not retaining. Materially have to change from last year to this year, and nothing has. What has Man City done to make me feel like they're going to be better than Arsenal? Nothing. Nada. If Maresca makes City go back to the Thomas Cook days, that's funny. That's funny. Acho, it's not looking good in the fence, bro, says Jerry. Even Noni's looking good. Yeah. I mean, Noni's not. We take the mickey out of Noni. He's not terrible, but he's just not great, bro. He's just not great. I can't believe what are Chelsea fans thinking. Chelsea fans didn't like Noni Madueke. Noni Madueke went to Arsenal and won the Premier League title. What do you do as a Chelsea fan? They're making Ben White look good. Bro, like, it's difficult because individually, Jerry, I've said this many times, individually, I don't always rate all of these Arsenal ballers. I don't rate Arsenal's attack, Jerry. I don't rate them individually, but Arteta has had these guys for 6 years. Let's not, misunderstand what that means if you've had a team for 6 years and you spent over £1 billion on this team. I don't want us to ever get it fucking twisted with how much Arteta has failed with this Arsenal team. Some people will say him winning that one Premier League in the 7 years is a success. A lot of people will still say it's a failure. This guy, was leading the Premier League title race at least 3 times, or at least 2 times, should I say, before he won it, and bottled it. He spent over £1 billion. He spent more than any manager, current manager right now, on their squad. £1 billion on this squad, at least, right? At least. And he only managed to win it because everyone dropped off and fell off. The worst Premier League season, in my opinion, for a long time. For a long time. So, yes, Arteta deserves some credit. Of course, like with anything, it's a spectrum. But how much credit? How much credit? I don't know, Jerry. I don't know, Jerry. Pie and mash ball is not it. Listen, at the end of the day, football will keep evolving. Pie and mash ball, 4-4-2, cross the ball in, all these things. It served the purpose back in the day. You know? Also, I think, the more capitalistic, the more you only care about the end product, the more you only care about how many goals you scored and who won, the more you only care about that is the less you care about the how you play. Finish. 3-0. Easy. Simple. Simple goal from Odegaard, bro. This Man City team looks... Yeah, without Rodri as well. There's no Rodri in that midfield. Yeah, bro. This is looking messy. This is looking ugly. Bro. Haaland looking up at the sky. Arsenal are taking this Man City team apart, bro. Like I said, Arsenal are a team that's finished. They're cohesive. Arteta's done building. Man City have work to do, bro. That pass there. This winger, this Greek winger, number 17, he's just fitted in just calmly, Look at that. Is that they might not miss Trossard, guys. That ball, that ball that he fizzed into the box, that Greek winger. He left the goalkeeper. Donnarumma, bro. Donnarumma was like this, laying down on the ground like some flipping photo shoot, like this. Just laying. Donnarumma was laying flat, like with his leg. Donnarumma got left on the ground, bro, all sprawled out like some 70s blonde model in some beachwear or some shit. Pause. That was crazy what he did. That reminds you of Jay-Z, Joshua Xerxes' goal in pre-season where he just left. That reminds you of some of Sancho's goals for Man United when Sancho would just leave a goalkeeper on his arse, leave a player on his arse and score a goal. But yeah, he was always rubbish for Man United, wasn't he? Narratives, Narratives. Had we had Anderson in the Man United midfield, have you guys noticed Anderson in this game? Has he done anything outstanding? Has he made a pass that's been good? Has he made a great forward pass? Has he split the defense open? Has Anderson, for you, made he's the most expensive footballer on this pitch, which means he should be the best footballer on this pitch. I don't want to have it. I don't want to hear it. Because I don't get why other teams get to hold Man United players to a certain standard, but we just get to this, allow them to make their £120 million signings, allow them to flop, and nothing happened. How much did Randers cost? Just off the back, how much does Reinders cost Man City? Another player that they bought, one season flop, and no one cares. And if that was Man United, everyone will be talking about it. How much did fucking Reinders cost Man City, guys? How much? How much? Mamouche. Where's Mamouche? Have you seen Mamouche? What is Mamouche? Mamouche it sounds like a Turkish dish. Is Mamouche a Turkish dish? Or is he a footballer? Which one? We need to vote. Is Mamouche an Middle Eastern dish or a footballer? Because the last time I checked, he was a footballer, but I haven't seen him. So I'm going to say Mamouche is a Middle Eastern or Arabic dish. How about that? Because I'm sure Mamouche cost Man City money and he hasn't done anything and no one talks about it. When you win, yeah, and you win stuff, you can overspend and waste your money and it's okay. Oh, it's poor. Man City are poor, bro. They are poor. The thing about Arsenal players, yeah, they won the league. When you win the league, yeah, and you remember how you won it, you remember how quickly you had to run, how quickly you had to think, how you had to play. If you've locked that in to muscle memory, like Man United used to do, we could go again. As long as you got the same hunger, because we used to retain Premier Leagues, and sometimes Fergie used to make, one or two signings, sprinkle, sprinkle, sprinkle. Keep the hunger there, as Fergie used to say. If one or two players don't show the hunger anymore to go again, he might replace them. Sprinkle one or two young players, because young players usually have the younger here or there, and we'd go again. We'd go again, and we would retain sometimes, guys. So this Arsenal team, they look like they got the tools. They look like they got the tools to retain it, guys. And that pisses me off. Royally so. Royally, it pisses me off. I thought he was on about what he was having. Big up Jerry. Big up Ivan in the building as well. Ivanosaurus Rex. Yo, big up Ivan. Ives, I just saw your comment. Between Bruno and me is personal. Bro. I don't know what it is. I like the energy, But I like the energy. It's personal. I love that, man. The thing is about Bruno, I've said my piece about Bruno. I said that we shouldn't, maybe Spain, or should I say Portugal, probably shouldn't shoehorn him into the Portuguese team. Because this is the conversation with Bruno and about Bruno as well. Another conversation that's having. Play Bruno in his 10. The problem is we've been playing Bruno in the 10 for like 4 or 5 years, and we've kind of said as a fan base that he'll get GA in the 10 because of the position, because he's nearer to the goal and all these things, but he doesn't play the 10 role the way that I would like the 10 role played. And I don't think he plays the 10 role the way that a lot of managers want it played, despite the fact he gets GA. Despite the fact he gets GA. I think that's the issue. You can still get good outcome personally if you take all the set piece, all these things, take all the set pieces, take the corners, take the free kicks, and especially if the team plays through you. The team plays through you because you are the 10. Then yeah, you are expected to get most of the GA. The issue with Bruno, for me, has always been that for me, a 10 is a teched off supreme baller. Your 10 is the guy that can play between the lines, who can dribble, who can play with his back to goal. You can drop a shoulder. Your 10 is kind of like your Jack Grealish. He can do what's Jack Grealish's weakness? He can dribble with the ball. He can play with back to goal. He can stand a man up. He can face a man up and drop a shoulder and skip past him. He can pass. He can cross. That's your 10. If you got a list of attributes and that footballer ticks like let's say 100 attributes, and the footballer ticks about 99 of those attributes, they can play they can play the 10. Because the 10 for me has to be able to do the most. He has to be able to do so much on the ball. And Bruno, in that position, as a footballer, he's limited. He's very flat-footed. You watch the way that Bruno plays football. Just watch him without emotion, no emotion in it. Like I said, it's to say what you see, not how you feel. I've said it all the time. Say what you see, not how you feel, and listen, your life will be better. You'll be more authentic. He runs in a very flat-footed way, bro. He doesn't know how to receive the ball, Bruno. Just watch. He doesn't know how to receive the ball on the half turn in order to face, because he doesn't want to face up a man, because he can't. He doesn't have quick feet like that. He's very Lampardy 10. He's a Lampardish 10. He's a Lampardish 10. I.e., I'm going to get goals and assists. Oh, hey, that's back pass. Last season was, and the thing about last season, guys, when it comes to Bruno, he did well towards the end of last season. See, that's why you have to say what you see, and you can't have agendas against Bruno, because it will look like you just don't like the man. So you got to say he was good last season. He ended the season well. You got the GA after he moved from the double pivot on Amrim, the first half of the season, to his back to his 10 role, where he doesn't need to track back. He gets to face the goal, and often, especially when he played with Anthony Martial, he was often further than Anthony Martial. Anthony Martial used to be the one to drop deep with his back to goal. Don't forget, when he was playing with Anthony Martial, Martial can play with his back to goal with a defender behind him, hold that defender off, hold the ball up. He could do that shit, Martial. And Bruno would run off Martial and receive through balls by a third man run. We saw that many times when Martial was playing with Bruno. But Bruno can't be the one with his back to goal to receive the ball. He can't play that. And he needs to be able to do that if he's playing in the 10, especially when Man United face low blocks. But he can only play facing the goal. I've said this many times. Anyway, I feel like I'm saying the same thing. I've said my piece, guys. I don't want it to be a Bruno, because, I'm always conscious that sometimes I go overboard, maybe, on my criticism of Bruno. But I always want to be measured. He's a good footballer. He just has holes in his game where I think it might be beneficial for us to get a better player in the position that he's currently playing in and bring him back to an 8 role. Bring him back to an 8 role. Which I think Carrick actually wants to do, guys. I've said it many, many times. The way that I saw Bruno in the last game that we just watched and the previous game, kind of drop deeper to pick the ball up. I think ideally he'd want a 6 and 2 8s. Or at least a much more fluid midfield that Bruno can't give us. But can Tielemans give us that? Can Tielemans give us that? I don't know. I don't know, guys. Let me see what Ivan's saying. Come on, Arsenal. Arsenal is the most likely. Yeah, Arsenal is most likely retaining. They are the only established team. That's what I said, Ivan. I said we have to use our brains now, because we didn't factor in. We did, but maybe not give enough weight into it. To the fact that out of all the teams in the league, Arsenal are the team that leads, and we said this, need the least amount of changes. They're the team that are the most established. They're the more cohesive team. They understand their roles. They understand their jobs. They're the most drilled team. Arteta is the only manager with a with the Premier League on the roster. Everyone else is building or in a new phase, says Ivan. And I agree with Ivan in the chat personally. Smash the like, guys. We're trying to go for minimum 10 likes every stream. Absolute minimum now. We have to up the levels if we want. By the way, guys, 700 subscribers. I should have said this earlier. Well done. Small wins, guys. Small wins. YouTube might do a little cleaning exercise and remove 1 or 2 over the next week. So we might drop down to 6, 9, 8. But 700 subscribers, guys. Well done. Well done, chat. Well done, channel, man. Keep it moving. Keep it moving. Let's go for 800 now in the next couple of months. We're going to try to do... We're trying to get monetized, guys, by the end of the year, if we can, people. So big up the chat. A big effort for everyone who joins in the chat, everyone who converses. Ivan, Atcho, Eddie, TK. The conversations help, man. All of this stuff helped the channel, man. So big up everyone. I'm hoping that, you know, the conversations continue to be edifying for everybody. And I'm hoping that I pose enough questions, ask enough questions, you know, theoreticals and whatnot, to get people thinking, to... Because that's what I do. I go off on tandems and I go off on long chats and I do my hypotheticals just to get people chatting, get people agreeing, disagreeing, just to get something, you know, get things going as well, guys, to see your opinions on matters. So big up the chat, big up the channel. 61 minutes gone, guys, and this game is... I'm not lying, guys. I'm just talking to you lot. I'm watching the game, but I'm having much more fun just interacting with the chat. I'm not going to lie, people. Is it going to be 4? Oh, Saka's come on. Everyone doing the cornrow thing. Everyone's trying to do the cornrow thing before their hair's long enough to cornrow. You know them cornrows that stop right at the back and they don't go to your neck. You know when you just got like a 3-inch afro and you should really like let it grow 4, 5, 6 more inches before you cornrow it. These men are like, nah, come on, get in my cornrows. And these men are getting their cornrows that just stop right at the back, bro. It's funny. Oh my God. Odegaard sent Luigi. Odegaard, Bruno. Ivan. The funny thing, Ivan, the Odegaard Bruno conversation keeps going. Bruno deaded it. Bruno deaded it. The conversation, yeah, is a very interesting conversation because I don't think it's a black and white thing because they've got attributes, yeah. One of them have attributes that the other doesn't have. Does it make sense? Like, if you want someone who can play in tight spaces, as in, put it this way, tight spaces is Odegaard. Odegaard can play better in tight spaces than Bruno because his control is better, his touch is usually better, all of these things. At the same time, Bruno can shoot better than Odegaard. Bruno's connection with the football in general, just full stop, his feet and his connection with the football, whether he's shooting, whether he's striking, whether he's passing, is better than his Odegaard's connection. So Bruno's he's a better shot than Odegaard, and you can argue he's often a better passer than Odegaard as well. So they have attributes, yeah, that if they combined their attributes, they'll be a great player. But Odegaard has things that I want Bruno to have, like his close control, playing in the half spaces, all these things. But one thing Odegaard, yeah, doesn't have that frustrates is that sometimes Odegaard can take too long to make his mind up. One thing about Bruno is because he doesn't have the ability to dribble and because he can't hold onto the ball for long because he doesn't have the ability to like evade and all these things, he usually makes his mind up very quickly, Bruno. That's why sometimes when Bruno gets a ball, he hoofs it straight away. Or Bruno might do a first-time pass down the line because Bruno decision-making is usually quite quick. And because he's played football for so long in that position, I think Bruno makes better decisions in the final third than Odegaard does in the final third. Decision making, I think, for Bruno is better than Odegaard. So if I'm going to break it down and go deep when it comes to the Odegaard Bruno thing, that's how I would analyze it. And who you take here would depend on the football that you want to play. I've gone through phases where I've said I would take Odegaard over Bruno every day of the week, because Odegaard will make me and make my team play better football. I understand the argument. The flip side of the argument is that Bruno will give you more end product. He might give you more goals. He might shoot from the edge of the box and give you a goal, for instance. He's a better at set pieces than Odegaard, in my opinion. So output-wise, and this is the individual output, but then the argument could also be, cool, would you sacrifice Bruno Fernandes's individual output for less individual output for Odegaard, but Odegaard might make the team play better, and therefore the team has a better overall output? You know, when I used to say sometimes Bruno can be a net, sometimes can be a net negative, i.e. he gets good stats for himself, but him getting, let's say, a goal, an assist, he might lose the ball in a dangerous area and make us concede a goal, for instance. So yeah, it's a good conversation to have, actually. It depends on how deep you want to have the conversation. From a banter perspective, as a Man United fan, I'm not going to lie, from a banter perspective, I'm saying I'm keeping Bruno over Odegaard all day. Because I'm a Man United fan, and it's just bants. But if I'm going to do the whole deep thing and analyze and dissect, bro, I might take Odegaard. Between me and Bruno, bro, I don't know why I find that so funny, bro. That's funny to me. I don't care what no one says. Big up Ivan in the building, man. Always making me laugh, bro. If there's anything, Ivan's gonna come in and say something to make me laugh. So just the way that he phrases things. Oh man. Nah, we don't hate you, Ivan, man. It's your opinion, bro. Opinions can't bring hate unless your opinion is hate. but then you hate Bruno, so your opinion is hate. Oh man. Bruno has more attacking nature. Yeah. And also, Bruno takes responsibility a bit more, guys. One thing I've said I always like about Bruno, no matter how shit Bruno is playing, bro, he doesn't hide. There'll be games here where Odegaard will just go missing and he will hide. Bruno, you'll notice him. When he, like, Odegaard plays a 10, yeah, and sometimes you don't even notice him. Bruno, you always notice Bruno on the field. He doesn't hide. If he does something crap, he doesn't go, oh shit, let me just be quiet for 2 minutes and not go looking for the ball. No, he just keeps going. Bruno, and I've said this about the likes of, what's his name? Bellingham. There are some players here who might not have world-class technical ability, but because they have elite world-class mindset and mentality, they just make it, bro. Bruno has that arrogance about him where he is the shit. He'll keep going, keep playing his game regardless. And in a way that is to be admired, bro. I've said this about Bellingham. Bellingham has that sort of like, he thinks he's elite, he acts elite. Even if his tech might not always be elite, he has an elite mentality. I think Bruno has that. Odegaard doesn't. Odegaard will crawl into his shell if you know, in some games. I don't know. Mamouche is probably getting sold. Nah, chosen. Allow Mamouche. He's cold. Pep just no, I'm not. Thing is, I'm not even saying Mamouche was rubbish. I'm just saying, where is he? Just where is he? Oh my lord, almost 4 goals here. Man City, bro, this is dead, bro. And I want us to understand, yeah, that once again, if a technical footballer like Mamouche comes to the Premier League and does not make it in the Premier League, it's a Premier League's fault, bro. I'm tired of when technical footballers come here and they don't make it. They're not good enough. Bro, the league is different. There's different ways of playing football. Vitinha wasn't good enough. There's so many players who came here and after being kicked in their shins 100 times, they said, you know what? This is not football. I can't play this kind of football. I don't want to do this shit because these guys just want to fight. Yeah, and it's okay. The problem is that because we are so elite, not elitist, because we think we're the best at everything, Great Britain, British. If a player does not make it in this country, it means he's not good. Because we have decided that this is the league, this is the pinnacle. And if you can't make it in this league, it means you're not good. We've decided this. We decided that. A 10 you can do, you can't do a half turn. I've never heard of of a 10 that can't do a half turn, guys. But we described the 3 types of 10s, didn't we? We described one I call a 10 who is a natural 10, as in the 10 isn't his position, the 10 is him, i.e. Neymar, Messi. These guys are absolute ballers. They play football anywhere. Don't give them a position. Don't tell this man to play left wing, bro. Let him wander. Let him go wherever he needs to go. Let him source. These guys are not number 10s by position, as in I play the 10 position. These guys are natural 10s because 10s, in my opinion, are the ones who are the center of the team who can do the most. Yeah. Then you have the 10s who are second strikers. You have 10s like your Dwight York, your Wayne Rooney, maybe your Suarez, maybe, who drop back into that position. Your Xerxes, your Bergkamps, who drop back in that position because they have the technical ability to play with their back to goal, bring others into play, all these things. Your Wayne Rooney's. So you have your striker 10s, your natural 10s, and then you have the other 10. So you have the 10 to striker, drops back, but then you have your midfielder 10 who goes forward. Your Brunos, your Lampards, your Scholeses, those 10s. For me, those are the 3 types of 10s. There might be another type of 10 who we now lump out wide because they can't play in the center of the park. The Cole Palmers, the Jack Grealishes, the winger 10s. The 10s who are actually 10s, probably, but they play out wide because they can beat a man and they can drop a shoulder. So they are more valued, let's say they're more valued out wide because of what they can do. And teams nowadays would prefer to play a midfield 3 without that flair 10 in that middle, because that middle of the park is congested, it is rough, it is physical, it is strong, it's about pace, it's about power. And some of these teams can't afford now to play your Cole Palmers in that position, that flair player who's just going to allow you to run past them. Right? So that's how I see it, guys. That's how I see it. The different types of 10s. Ivan says, we don't talk enough about Bruno. He doesn't even play 10. Bro either evacuates striker space or is playing where he wants. That's what's been happening for the past 4 or 5 years. And that's why he's been getting GA, because he's been playing wherever he wants to play. Don't forget, the mentality is, or the narrative is, get the best out of one player, get the best out of the team. We need to build a team where we don't have to do that anymore. We need to build a team where we don't have to do that anymore. No one can name a class Bruno game where he hasn't got GA. Can we name a game where Bruno didn't get a goal, didn't get an assist, but was the best player on the pitch? Has that happened? Because one of the things I've said about Bruno is this. I don't often see 90-minute performances from Bruno. really good 90-minute performances from Bruno. Zubimendi's coming on, by the way, guys. Arsenal making changes. Yokeres coming on. You know how sometimes Pogba would just run the game for 90 minutes, and you were like, that was a great 90-minute performance from Pogba. You get Bruno plays in patches, and he'll get a GA, he'll get a golden assist, and people say he will have a good game. But has he ever had a good game where he's not been on the score sheet or got an assist? Can Bruno play good football? Just play good football, and that's it. Ivan says he even made Vitinha and Neves look like bums. Bruno is a second striker in a 4-4-2 who is too ball dominant. Yeah, bruv, they're taking liberties now. Ole's and shit. Man City are way off, bro. They're not going to do anything this year. Do you know what I realize as well, guys? The whole Man City thing. If they get rid of Rodri, I've said this, and they've lost Bernardo, and they're going to replace those two with Anderson and this 18-year-old, the 18-year-old Moroccan kid for 100 million. What's his name? That played for Morocco in the World Cup that everyone's talking about. Yeah, that kid. You know who I'm talking about with the afro-y hair. If those two are going to be replacing Rodri and Bernardo Silva, bro, Man City are done for. Man City are done for. And I've said this before. Yeah, Buwadi. That's it, Buwadi. If they're going to replace those two with Buwadi, bro, and Anderson, Man City are done for. Martial's a false nine. It helped build up. Bro, Martial, yeah, was my guy, bro. I loved Anthony Martial, bro. What a great footballer. You know when it's like, you know what's the funny thing about Anthony Martial? Is that that Man United fans, yeah, always hold up, build up, and rate the wrong players, bro. We constantly do it. It's because our feelings is more. One thing I understand about football fans is that the majority of football fans don't understand football. Think about it logically. Football is consumed. There's 8 billion people on the planet, yeah, and football is watched by at least 5 billion people. The majority of people watch football, right? You got to think about in that sample size of 7 billion, whatever, how many people watch football. There's going to be people who are really, really stupid. Let's be honest, that don't really understand football that much, that are not hardcore football fans. Loads of passives. So the majority of football fans are just passive football fans, which means the majority of football fans don't really understand what they're seeing. They watch football and they wait for goals to go in. They're eating their food, they're doing whatever they're doing, and they're sitting there. They're not consuming and absorbing what they're seeing between the goals. The football that's being played, the structure, the positioning. They're not understanding what they're seeing between when the goals go in. They're coming alive when a goal goes in. They're celebrating, and then they're going back to ignoring what they're seeing. The majority of people who watch football don't understand football. They don't. They don't. So, therefore, you're not always going to rate the footballers that are actually the best footballers. You're going to rate the footballers that the media tell you to rate, that the media promote, the footballers that get the GA, and the footballers that get the GA sometimes aren't the best footballers in the team. I keep saying this. I don't know if Ronaldinho got the most GA. I really don't. I don't know if Hazard got the most GA in that Chelsea team. I said Hazard was a guy who passed the ball before the guy who got the assist. But unless you're watching football and you're watching a full 90 minutes and you're understanding what you're seeing, you won't appreciate certain players. You just won't. And an echo chamber will happen. Enough people online say this player's good. Enough people online say this player's rubbish. You who don't watch football will just repeat that because you think they know more than you, so you just repeat what they say. And all of a sudden there's an echo chamber, a narrative has emerged about a footballer being great that it's not really great. Like for me, when people were speaking about when people were pitting Anthony Martial and Rashford against each other, I thought that was weird because I don't really remember Dwight York versus Andy Cole. I don't really remember those things. But let's say it happens. I was like, this Rashford is quicker and more dynamic, yeah, maybe than Martial at this point in their careers. But if you're asking me who the best footballer is, it's not close. Martial's a better technical footballer than Rashford ever was. Martial was lobbing goalkeepers, putting the ball through goalkeepers' legs. The goals that Martial would score, high IQ, technical footballer Martial. It wasn't close. Rashford was more of a pace and power guy, while Martial was there. The ball would stick to Martial's feet like Velcro when he was playing that striker role, bringing Greenwood and Rashford into play. It was never close between the two, in my opinion. Martial was my guy, bro. He helped so much. Injuries killed Martial, man. The injuries absolutely killed him, bro. Killed him. Just like the injuries killed Pogba, and I'll always be frustrated knowing that these two players died. Their bodies died because Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Don't forget what happened, guys. Let's relive history. Let's relive history. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer kept playing Pogba and Martial through injuries. Martial and Pogba are the only reason why Ole Gunnar Solskjaer got the Man United job. When he came back and took over from Jose, Pogba and Martial down that left-hand flank, yeah, absolutely destroyed everybody. Let's not pretend, bro, what they were doing. We did a whole 10-game unbeaten. We beat PSG, all of these things, yeah. Pogba and Martial were absolutely unplayable. Oli set them set them off their leash, and they were just on crack. On crack. Pogba was, every time Pogba got injured, we had to rush him because we had no one else. We were so crap, yeah, that every time Pogba got injured, we had to rush him back while at the same time abusing him for not being good enough. How is it, yeah, that we're so desperate for this man that we kept rushing him back? We were rubbish without him, played shit football without him, but every time he played, people just got angry. Yeah? Play this man through injury. His body broke down because he played. Both Pogba and Martial bodies broke down because they ran their socks off for the football club. Yet they get disrespected. But Mason Mount can stay here injured, right? He can be injured every season and it's fine. It's absolutely fine. It's absolutely fine though, isn't it? Right? Bro, I'm somebody, yeah, who I don't like to remove context. So when I look back at stuff, yeah, I'm going to try to apply the context at the time. I'm not going to try to rewrite history and pretend, yeah, that certain players didn't ball out, bro. Like the whole Sancho thing. When Rangnick came over and took over and we played that sort of like German Gergen press thing for a while with Ronaldo and Sancho, but we were balling, bro, with Sancho. I remember, bro. So I'm not going to pretend here like Sancho didn't ball out for us in a lot of games. I'm not. And even Anthony, yeah. Overspent on Anthony, all of these things, yeah. Anthony had decent games for us at times. There was some time I saw Anthony play football and I was like, if we played a more possession-based football, because a lot of these players here are possession-based wingers. You know when I said how Liverpool got rid of their pace and power wingers, their Darwin Nunez's, their what's the Senegalese one? They got rid of him years ago though, and the winger they let go, they sold to Bayern Munich, Ruben. Is it Ruben? a lot of these wingers that they let go and these players that they let go were all like over the top, run onto the ball type footballers, and they replaced those footballers with ball to feet, possession based wingers, because Slot wants to play a more possession based style. And then you got like your Sanchos and your Antonys, who are kind of possession based wingers. They play a more continental type of football. They play a more technical Spanish style of football. And you brought them into Manchester United to play a kick and run, counter-attacking, isolate your don't forget wingers, isolate your fullback and kick the ball past him the way Rashford does. Those wingers are not those type of wingers, bro. But thing is, if we manage our expectations, if the Man United fan base knew the footballers that they were buying, if you knew that what Anthony's game was, if you knew what Sancho's game actually was, then you wouldn't be surprised by the way they play. They want to get the ball and they want you to overlap, like the way Hakimi overlapped for Sancho at Dortmund, and they want to play and connect with others. The whole idea of football winger isolating their man and just beating their man all the time, bro, that doesn't happen, bro. Giggs never always beat his man, and a lot of fans just want you to lose the ball. A lot of fans, yeah, this is the narrative. I don't care if you lose the ball as long as you try to beat your man. So a lot of fans would prefer you to receive the ball on the wing and try to beat your man 100 times and lose the ball 99 times and say, at least he tried to beat his man. But if you receive the ball 100 times and let's say you only try to beat your man 10 times and you pass the ball back 90 times, they'll be angry at the fact that you pass the ball back. All you're doing is passing the ball back. You're not trying to beat your man. It's the way that they see football. The way that the British interpret football will damage footballers. Because this is why I say, guys, how did Pep manage to turn Man City into this? Because the Man City fans had to be patient. They had to be patient. And I just wish Man United fans could see football in multiple different ways. And I wish that we as a fan base understood the footballers a bit more before we bought them. So we held them to a standard that was reasonable rather than, they can't do this. Well, they could never do that. They could never do that. So why do you all of a sudden want them to do it, bro? That was never their game. That was never their game. Can Man City actually score a goal? Because this is embarrassing, guys. Here we go, a counter-attack on the left. Oh, this is embarrassing, bro. Big up, Delano. Koopa. Yeah, my bro, keep growing your channel. Yeah, man, we got to keep it moving. We got to keep pushing, man. Keep pushing these videos. I'm going to start doing some more shorts as well. Shorts seem to do well. They're quick, in and out. People can, watch them quickly. 700 subscribers. Big up, people. Sorry, man. I just been going off on one in this chat, guys. I just been going off, man. It happens sometimes, guys. If you've been watching me enough, I just go off. My brain does what it does, bro. Don't blame me. Blame my brain. It's not my fault. Blame my autism. Blame it on the autism. Odegaard is in flow state. Odegaard, bro. Odegaard is interesting because what's his name? The Crystal Palace. Has Eze just been around the place? Has it pushed Odegaard a bit more to step his game up, guys? Personally, I still take Odegaard over Bruno, and that is exact point chosen. I need the better ball. Yeah. I think it's a conversation that Real Madrid might have with Bellingham playing the 10. It's a conversation we're always going to have. What type of 10 do you want? What type of 10 makes your team play better? And these are the kind of conversations that other channels are not having, guys, to this level. They're not. You're not getting this conversation on the United stand. You're just not, bro. You're not. And you know you're not. And if you want edifying conversations, there's not a lot of places you can go. That's why I started this channel. I said, you know what? In terms of long form content, we can have more edifying conversations and more deeper conversations about stuff, especially if it's in long form. It's not a tweet, bro. You don't have 20 characters. You have time to explain yourself, bro. Give it to them a 10. Ah, bro, too slow. Finish. Oh, bro, Man City are dead, bro. Man City are dead. As long as we have Bruno, we will always be a counter-attacking team. Ivan, you said something. Do you know when you say something like that, Ivan? It's actually deeper than you think. Like, maybe I'm not saying you think deeper than you think it is, but it's actually a deep statement, that is. Because it kind of goes to what I've saying. Everything I've been saying. Bruno doesn't play counter-attacking football. He doesn't keep the ball. He doesn't hold the ball well. That's not his game. Bruno is a final piece. I always want to just do the final ball. I always want to. That's Bruno. He doesn't keep the ball well, Bruno. But then the question is, as a 10, is he supposed to? The people who love Bruno will say he's supposed to be taking risks, and that's how you unlock defenses, right? That would be the argument, guys. We've heard it before. Odegaard goes missing like Madeline, but just have ball players alongside him like Ahmad, Yuri, Jay-Z, Lacey. I like the way you guys are putting Lacey Evans. Lacey Evans, you know, that's a wrestler. Lacey, I like the way you guys are now putting Cher Lacey as part of the group. He's slid in there. I've noticed Cher Lacey is good. I'm happy for the kid because he looks good. Cher. Was this a good game, Eddie? Guys, was this a good game? No. I tell you why I'll say no. Because Man City didn't do anything. And I'm a neutral. I don't care for either of these teams. So I wanted a good game where both teams were attacking, both teams scored. This has been one-sided. And funny enough, Eddie, it's been one-sided with Man City still having most of the ball. It's been one-sided with Man City still having most of the ball. So no, I've been talking most of this game about everything other than this game. So, yeah. Stats say it is even. No, that's the thing about, the stats will lie today. The stats will lie today. Arsenal have been a better team. You know when Jose says you can control the game, there you go, guys. Game is done. You know when Jose says you can control the game without having the ball? That's what Arsenal were doing today. To answer your question, I think hypothetically Bruno can play good ball, but his tendencies and limited ability prevent that. Yeah, Buwadi ain't saving this Titanic. No, guys, City are in trouble, you know. I might go as far as to say second place, might be up for grabs. As usual, this is still a preseason game, but you can take things from this game because it's a halfway house. It's a preseason game that everyone takes seriously. Ish. So it's not like a Premier League game. No one's at 100%. No one's fighting to win, but it's not a preseason game. So you can actually take things from this game. You can extrapolate. Facts chosen. Pogba and Martial literally broke their bodies, and without doubt, we would not have done second and whatnot under Oli. And the saddest thing about that narrative, Atro, the narrative is over the last 3 years without Martial and Pogba, it's been better. And I'm like, hold on a second. With Martial and Pogba and all those guys, we were finishing second in the league. We got rid of them, and under Bruno, we're finishing 15th and shit. Yeah, we finished third last season, but the narrative is weird that we feel better. Some of us feel better now because the messaging is a warmer messaging. The narrative is a warmer and it's a better narrative now than we did when we were finishing second with those players, and while the narrative around those players were negative. It shows that feeling sometimes is the most important thing. We felt, not all of us, some of us feel better over the last 3 years where we were just crap with Ten Hag and whatnot than we did under Jose, for instance, and Oli when we were finishing second in the league. COVID United moved me. Yeah, do you know what COVID United, yeah? That was... All right, one thing I'll say about COVID United, guys, is this. Isn't me, yeah, is I might be the only player, I wish I was a player, the only person who enjoyed there being no fans. Like, I get it. The fans, the loudness, the cheering, all of these things, the atmosphere, it's all fun. But because I find myself, or I think I'm a football purist, I don't care about the crowd. I don't care about the crowd noise as much. So during the COVID period, yeah, where you could hear the ball, you could hear the every time the player connected with the ball, you had and when the ball slapped the post, you heard the loudness of the post, bang. Or when the ball hit the net and you had, bro, I like that little small period, yeah, where I didn't have to hear the stupid fans boo the wrong players, cheer the wrong players, sing some of their dumb songs, like moan and groan when a player didn't take a man on. When the fans didn't have to influence, because fans influence the way you see football by the way that they react to certain things on the pitch. And sometimes when I watch football, I mute the commentary, so I'm not influenced by what they say, so I have my own independent thoughts. Similarly, I liked the COVID period in a way. It was different. It was refreshing to see guys play football with no pressure, without the fans shouting and screaming abuse. It was just... I enjoyed it, guys. I'm not gonna lie. Would I want to watch football like that forever? Maybe not. Maybe not. But everyone was complaining, and I sat there thinking, you know what? I like this football. No distractions, no crowd distractions. We can just fully focus on the football. And if you love football, you shouldn't care about crowds chanting, bro. If you just love the sport of football, you should be able to watch that game, yeah, and watch football without the crowd because you love football. And I feel like the COVID period where people are crying about crowds showed me the difference between the people who watch football because they love football and the people who watch football because it's a spectacle, it's emotional, and all these other things, the crowd, the chanting. Less of that. Anyway, Ivan says, COVID United moved me. One more like, guys, a few more likes, and we will be good people. Simon stepped in. Big up, Simon. What are you saying to me, Simes? Simes, you know, look at everyone getting nicknames and shit. Simes. No, I don't think that work. I think Simon. Or Mr. Kennedy. Mr. Kennedy work. City got battered. Absolutely battered like cod. What's the best fish, actually, to batter? I all say cod, but I know some of you like haddock. Cod, right? I prefer cod. Personally, I don't think I even know the difference between haddock and cod. If I'm going to a chippy, it's usually cod they batter, right? Sometimes it's haddock, isn't it? I don't know, guys. But City got battered. Fully battered, bruv. What are the City fans saying now? Simon, is this Arsenal side winning the league, Simon? City fans are leaving. Yeah, they left early, bro. I don't know. No Pep Guardiola. And they're moving away from the tiki-taka and they're buying all these pace and power players. They're changing their style. They are transitioning to something different. They're once again going to be in a transition while Arsenal are going to be the more stable side So we will see this season. We need to do our season. When are we going to do? Let's do a season prediction now. When should we do season predictions? Maybe on Monday's show. Or Friday's show. I don't know. We're running out of time, guys. The league starts on Saturday. We got 1 week left. Less than a week left, actually, before the league starts, guys. Or is it Sunday? Is it Sunday or Saturday that it starts? Saturday. It starts on Saturday. Bruno is 32 in September, says Simon. We need a warrior replacement. Yeah, I mean, Bruno has been a big... The thing is this. I like the way Bruno often, not always, doesn't hide and he takes responsibility. That character, just the character of taking responsibility and not hiding, we need that character. Forget about his technical ability and all these things. We need that mentality, that character in our team when Bruno leaves. Because you say what you want about Bruno's footballing, his character and his mentality, as I said before, is actually elite. It is. And I'll give him that. He's somebody who you go up to him and you'll say, "You're crap." And he'll be like, "No, I'm not." And he'll walk away. And he won't, like, you know, when you can't, you know, some people, yeah, you could tell you can't really affect their self-esteem. Like, you can't, because self-esteem is how you think of yourself. And what someone else thinks shouldn't really matter about your self-esteem. Bruno's like one of those guys where he just comes across, you can't really affect his self-esteem. Bruno, you're shit, okay? But I'm not, though. Like, and that's it. And he'll walk away and he'll believe it. Jude Bellingham's the same. You can't, these mentality monsters, sort of footballers, not always easy to find. Mbappe is a bit like that. Big up, chat. I'm looking clever with the spectacles. I don't need spectacles. Do I look clever now? Do I look clever now? Bro, it's because my eyes, yeah. Today's been one of those days where my eyes have just been weak, bro. You know when you wake up and your eyes, I don't know why I'm talking to you guys like you guys know this shit. But I wake up today and I'm like, my eyes are just doing its own thing, bro. They don't want to focus. My eyes don't want to be serious today, bro. I don't have the Matisse eye. No offense to Matisse. Big up Matisse, bro. Big up man like Matisse. Oh, guys. Are we more calm about yesterday's result? Okay, let me ask a better question. Are we more calm about yesterday's performance? Because it was the performance that got me angry more than result, even though the result upset me. And maybe, according to the feedback that you guys have been giving me and some feedback I've received, I might have gone overboard in my reaction yesterday. But as I said before, and you know me, guys, I've been calm. I haven't been, you know, like Goldbridge and all these guys just panicking and stressing. This whole transfer window, you know, I have been chilled. So if I'm now stressing a little bit, just allow me. Allow me to stress a little bit, because you guys have seen me. I've been the most chilled. I've given Ineos the benefit of the doubt until now. But it's coming to that time, guys, and it's coming to the point where I can sense that I'm going to be getting angry if these fuckers don't do. Sorry, see, it's happening. When these people don't do what they're supposed to do. So I will try my best to remain logical and logically consistent, but I don't know how long I can remain calm for. I will be honest with you guys. Simon says we need a left back, another midfielder, and a striker. I agree. I'll probably agree with more the striker if I think we need a striker, but because none of our strikers are leaving, and Kuni can play there, and Bumo can play there, Xerxes and Sesko, we need to get rid of one before we bring one in. I think a striker is less needed because we're supposed to have the best attack in the league, factually. But I will still take a striker. The thing is, Simon, when people say striker, sometimes we need to move from a theoretical to a practical and go to, okay, who are the strikers out there that we could actually get, who will actually improve us, who are better than Xerxes and Sesko? There might be, but I don't know. I think the strikers market is a bit dry. It's Sahara Desert market. And if you go to Sahara Desert, there's nothing there. There's no markets there. There's camels. It's looking good for United beating City. Yeah, if this is City, and City are not going to make any more signings, yeah, I can't wait to face City. I'm not going to lie. Even after seeing what I saw yesterday from Man United, I'm still pretty confident that we can beat this Manchester City side and spank them 3-0 like we did again. This City side they're not cohesive. They're not cohesive, and I don't think they have the intelligence in the central midfield area. They don't have the intelligence in that area of the field, City. I think City are in trouble. I think City are in trouble because Chelsea are looking good. One game a week, Chelsea look okay. One game a week, Tottenham. We don't know what that looks like yet, guys. And then we got Liverpool, Man United. I don't know, guys. Are Man City in trouble? City was battered, yeah. Notorious Big Smoke. Pep, bro, why? What are you saying to me, Notorious, man? What were you doing an Arsenal hate along or something, Notorious? Were you banking on Arsenal to lose today? Listen, Notorious, we will witness for the first time in a long time a Manchester City without Pep Guardiola. This season is going to be interesting as fuck. If we get the signings we need, left back, another midfielder, and a striker, we can challenge, says Simon. Madrid going to take Haaland. Nah, as you can see, the comment on screen from Notorious, or Acho, really. Acho commenting or responding to Notorious. City going to take Haaland. Notorious, I'm not going to lie, bro. I would be shocked if Man City sold Haaland. The thing is, I think, Rodriguez, the Haalands, I think those guys, they want to go to Madrid. I think, because one thing that we haven't spoken about is the fact that this Man City team was built by Pep. It's Pep's empire. And nobody really wants to live up in Manchester unless they're playing for Man United or they're playing for Pep. And Pep was a big draw, if not the only draw for Man City. Why would you play for Man City if Pep wasn't there? The first initial period of Man City with the Mark Hughes and the Mancini, is it Mancini era? Who were they buying? They still were buying players, to be honest. They were spending a lot on players, Robinhos. They were getting the best of the rest in the Premier League, Barry's, but not the players that they're getting under Pep, or not the players that they got under Pep. Since Pep went there, Pep's managed to get the David Silvers, both Silvers, like proper tech tough guys. Now that Pep is not there, let's see what players they can attract, and also the players that might want to leave now because Pep's not there. Let's see the style of football they now play under a different manager and how they transition to that style of football. All of this stuff is fascinating to me, guys. So I don't know if I think, back to Notorious was saying in the chat, Haaland could go to City, not this year. There's no way City could do it this year. But then again, Haaland's dad is a Man City fan. So maybe Haaland's more content. I don't know. It's definitely one to watch. Definitely one to watch, bro. Oh, Man United against Hull is a Saturday morning. Oh, Man United Hull is 12 p.m. Saturday, guys. You little cunts. Guys, it's the first match of the season. Literally, Man United Hull is unless it's a Friday game, which I don't think there is. Man United Hull is the first match of the season. Why, guys? Why have they done it like this? You'd think the first week there'll be no 12 a.m. or sorry, should I say 12 p.m. Saturday games. The first weekend there's already, I don't know. It is what it is. Big up people. Simon says, I prefer smoked haddock. Smoked haddock? I think I've had smoked haddock before. Yeah. I think smoked, when haddock is smoked, I prefer it actually than when it's battered. I like smoked haddock. Yeah, I like. Oh no. Right, there is a game on Friday. Arsenal start the season. Arsenal start the Premier League season, and the first game of the Premier League season is Friday. So we're not the first game. It is Arsenal's game on Friday, which will be the first game of the season. Yeah, I like smoked haddock. It's not make me think about fish now. Escavish fish. I'm Jamaican, so we have something called escavish fish. Very, very nice. Well, next time I have it, I'm going to show the stream. Great fish, bro. Very, very beautiful. I prefer cod. Yeah. Do you know what kind of fish I don't like? Yeah. I like white fish, like cod, haddock. That's cool. But it's a slimy white fish. I don't know what they're called, but you know the fish that's a bit oily, but it's white, but it's a bit slimy, sort of. Like not the dry white fish, the coddocks and the haddocks. The coddock and haddock. Man trying to combine the names, Man trying to flip in fusion dance the names and shit. But yeah. Pep left us for absolutely no reason. Oh, it's Notorious. You're a Man City fan. Oh, Notorious, bro. I didn't even know. Now it makes sense, bro. Bro, and we need to quiz you, bro. You can't leave. We need to ask you questions, Notorious, bro. What are you? No, because when's the last time we had a City fan in the chat, guys? Notorious, man. Don't go nowhere. What are you thinking about this season, bro? I want to see. This is the kind of time I want Notorious to jump on the show. What are you saying about City this season? What are you thinking, my guy? Where's City going to finish, man? Talk to me, man. Pep left us for absolutely no reason. Yeah, because my man didn't even go to it. You know them ones where man's acting like he's got bare shit to do. Yeah, man, I got to go, man. I got to go home, man. Shit, I got to go now, man. Yeah, man, I got shit, like, I got to do the dishes. I got planned for my holiday. Yeah, man, you go home, man's just there sleeping. That's what Pep did, bro. Pep's like, I got to go, man. I got shit to do. Man, let's left and said, no, I'm taking 2 years out, all right? I thought you're leaving to do some shit. No, I just didn't want to be here, man. I just didn't want to be here. That's all. Pep chefed you, man. But you know what I think as well happened? What report? I also feel like the Premier League has changed so much, that Man City can no longer just go out there and get the far superior technical players. You can't fill your team with David Silvers, Bernardo Silvers, all of these tech tough guys, while everyone else is hungry and just starving and passing everyone off the park. You can't do that anymore. The gap's closed. And I think Pep is finding it more difficult to find the players to play his brand of football. Because the pace and power of the league is catching up on him now. He dodged the pace and power thing for a while, but it's catching up on him. That's kind of what I think is also happened. And Pep said, you know what? Fuck it. I won the quadruple. I won 4 trophies. Not even Fergie, not even Man United have managed to win all 4 trophies. It will probably never be done again. And he said, look, cool, I'm good now. I've got 2 big City fan friends that are not replying to my messages. Typical City fans. I don't know any City fans, guys. I never knew City fans even existed until about 3 or 4 years ago. I really didn't. I don't know any City fans. Simon's like, you've been through this. Don't kick a man when he's down. The thing about Man City, yeah, the hatred between Man United and Man City, yeah, isn't as deep from the Man United perspective. And I don't know if it's deep from the Man City. I don't know if it's a hatred. I don't know. Maybe it is. Maybe the fans up in Manchester feel it more than the fans elsewhere. Because, of course, you guys started off as our noisy neighbors. And I think that set the tone for the relationship. It was never going to be beef. It was always going to be, you guys are annoying. Because Fergie just belated you guys. You guys are noisy neighbors. You guys are whatever. And, of course, you guys have proved him wrong. You've won trophies. But I still don't know if the Man City Man United thing is as deep as a Liverpool Man United thing. Or maybe it will become deeper when Man City start reaching 17, 18 Premier League titles. Maybe when you guys start getting to that level, we will start going, we hate these motherfuckers. I don't know. Just a thought. Just a thought. Yesterday was a friendly. I'm glad we got beat. It might wake up Ineos to bring in what we need. Simon, were you trying to do a poem there? You're sounding poetic. Yesterday was a friendly. I'm glad we got beat. It might wake up Ineos to bring in what we need. Okay, it was a bar. It was a four bars. That was a good, good rap. Clearly that's what you were trying to do, right? Nah, still not happy with the performance yesterday. Now that I've slept on yesterday, I'm gonna put less focus on the result. Yes, I think a lot of my anger was with the fact that I was emotionally hurt losing to Amorim and losing 4-2 to Amorim. The emotion of that defeat influenced my response and my reaction. That is clear, right? Therefore, my reaction yesterday wasn't fully logic based. It was emotional. Yeah, it was. Yeah. However, performance-wise, I still think I'm right to criticize the performance and to say to myself and to say to the chat that there are things we need to iron out in terms of how we want the midfield to play. And as Simon says in the chat, Ineos, get your thumb from out of your butthole. Put it somewhere else. Do something. Do something, bro. You little pricks. Do something, man. Sign a player, bro. You know? Oh, man. Sesko hasn't had any minutes. We need... Yeah. I like Mateta. Victor Osimhen, Simon. We're never getting Victor Osimhen. The strikers market is just dead, bro. All the strikers are like bully type strikers. There's no like silky strikers. There's no like Henri's or Aguero's or Torres's or David Villa's. And these are not even like the strikers from like 90s. These are like the 2000 strikers. The strikers from like 10 years ago, 15 years ago. Where are the Luis Suarez's? These are the recent strikers that are not even being replaced. The Suarez's are getting replaced by the Gyökeres type strikers, the bully ones. I need more Alvarez's. I don't even rate Alvarez that highly, guys, but I think we need more Alvarez-y type strikers, bro. Come on, academies. Academies all around the world. Start producing some strikers. I beg of you. I'm going to send a note to every country's FA, grassroots, and say, what the fuck you cunts doing, bro? Are you trying to destroy football by making sure there's no strikers? Where are the strikers, guys? The only place Haaland would go is Madrid. I agree. I agree with that. I think that is the only place that he would go. Smash the like button, guys. We're probably going to go in about in a while, but if we can get 15 likes, that would be good. City can't afford to potentially lose Rodri and then Haaland. That's why I'm saying, I'm like, all of you, what everyone is saying in the chat is correct. I agree. Haaland would go to Madrid. Madrid would want Haaland. All of these things. Man City don't want to sell Haaland to Madrid, and they're not going to. Not this year. And if they do sell him to Madrid, oh my gosh, City are done. The way I spent 2 minutes saying there's no strikers out there. And City already had Alvarez and sold him. I don't know, guys. Arsenal's first game. Yep, Simon said it. Simon confirmed it. Arsenal is the first game. What about jerk chicken, rice, and peas? Well, yeah, of course. Come on now, Simon. That's just normal. Do you know what? I go through what I prefer, you know. I think fundamentally my go-to Caribbean dish from my country would probably be jerk chicken, rice, and peas. But when I say jerk chicken, I don't mean English jerk chicken with jerk sauce. I mean, jerk chicken is a method of cooking, not just putting seasoning. And you got to cook it in the jerk barrel. You have to cook it in a barrel. If you got the wood, there's a certain type of wood in Jamaica that creates that smell. You have to cook it with that wood. And pimento. Pimento is one of the ingredients that make... Pimento is in almost everything that Jamaicans cook. So once you've got that in a barrel, you have to cook it. And then you put your jerk sauce. You have your jerk seasoning. Leave it in the barrel. Infuse it. And then you put your jerk sauce on top of it. Oh, you do your rice and peas. You have a bit of fried dumpling on the side. You have your salad and all that shit. But then you have your curry goat. You got your brown stew chicken. And then all of these things, your escovitch fish, your soups, your hard food, your yam, your banana, your dumpling. But then you have the nation's dish. Everyone knows Jamaicans' national dish. It's not actually a jerk chicken. Our national dish is ackee and saltfish. If those of you haven't had ackee and saltfish before, slap yourself right now. Just slap yourself. It doesn't need to be hard, but hard enough for you to remember this day. Hard enough for you to remember this day. Try some ackee and saltfish, yeah? Some hardo bread, Jamaican. It could be African bread. Because you know, agege bread, that sweet bread. So you can either have that sweet bread or that fluffy hardo bread with some ackee and saltfish. Oh, Bumba Clark. Now you gotta say bumpercloth in the English way. Bumpercloth. Sometimes you gotta do English. Bumpercloth. Wow, go on, bumpercloth. That's funny to me, bro. I don't give a fuck. Hey, sorry, what we did? Football. Oh yeah, this is the football channel. I forgot. Yeah, Arsenal's the first game. Pep jumped before the 115. He did. He did. He was named in it. Pep was named in the 115 charges. He jumped. It was I don't know what he did, but he was named in it, bro. Yo, 13 likes. We got 2 more to go and we get our 15 likes. I wired Man City's new reigning facility in 2014 when it was being built. They tried to get us to wear high-vis vests and had hard hats with the City badge on them without saying one team. Do you know? Yeah, I read that. Yeah, and I'm thinking is Simon being serious here? Because I don't know if it's back now. Did you actually work on their new training facility, Simon? Did you really, bro? Simon's been about, you know. Simon's with that guy in the chat. Yeah, he's done some shit. Simon's got them weird. Simon's got these stories. Simon, you got to stick around, bro. If you actually worked on their training facility, that is cool. Amorim called out our owners. Fair play. Bro. Yeah, Amorim. That's why football is not this one-dimensional, bro. Like, Amorim did some stuff as well. Thing about Amorim, yeah, because he did the heart on my sleeve thing. Amorim wears his heart on his sleeve. Says what he's a poet. He's a very emotional man. He's a emotive man. He plays football emotionally. He uses loads of emotional words like love and suffering. He's very emotional, and that's how he gets his players to play. Similar to Fergie. Fergie was emotive too. Yeah. And he wore his heart on his sleeve, Amorim. And in a way, he said what he meant and meant what he said. He said, well, I say that, but he came out many, many times, said certain things that he had to backtrack on. A lot of times he said things that maybe he shouldn't have said. But there is a beauty. There is a beauty in authenticity, even though it's not always required, if that makes sense. No, required, maybe not the right word. Acknowledged, appreciated. That's the truth. They didn't back him like they won't back Carrick. They're only interested in making money. Also, just to remind people, the context is that we've been bought with debt. We're in debt, and we don't have as much money to spend because of that, and that will always be a thing. Like, we're £1 billion in debt. The interest is still high, and a lot of our revenue will go on financing just the interest. And that's it. If that thing wasn't there, the club will be in a much better financial position, and we will be able to spend so much more money. One thing which is clear for the last 20 years is that as much as they say we've got money to spend, think about this and understand this fact. However money they tell you that we have to spend, we would be able to spend even more if we weren't under these constraints. Even more. Fundamentally, we don't talk about it on this channel because there's nothing will change. But always understand that I am fully aware that the biggest problem at this football club, bigger than any player, bigger than any manager, bigger than everything, is the owners. Please don't be under any illusion that I do not understand that is the biggest issue. Just because we don't talk about it every day, because what is there really to say about it? It's been this way for at least 20 years. There's nothing else. We hate these guys. We don't like them. And the conversation usually just stops. There's not a lot of conversation we can have because we're all in agreement that these guys are parasites. But there's nothing we can do about it. They own the club. They will leave when they feel like leaving. That's it. And that's it. That's it. So it's our job. Maybe it's my job we got to find some joy because we don't like the owners, and we have to somehow separate the owners from the actual football club that we love. And I've asked this question: how do you love a football club when the people who own it you hate? I think we don't have this conversation enough. The disconnect that we sometimes have towards our football club and the anger we receive, well, not receive, we have, is also because of the disconnect. We hate the owners, but we love the club. How can you love the club, which is owned by a group of people that you hate? It's a very interesting position to be in as a fan. And then the new guys who've come, Ineos, who just latched on to the old guys, they have done a bit of stuff. They've given us new training ground, about to give us a new stadium. So they're not the same, but at the same time, they are the same in a lot of ways. In a lot of ways, they are. What about Levi Root's Jack Chicken season? He has made millions. I'm not gonna lie, Simon. But the thing about Levi Root's Jack Chicken season is that it's one man's interpretation of Jamaica's Jack Chicken. Now, I'm not saying it's bad. It's a nice thing. It's good. And it's good that he's made it popular. It's good that he's exposed it to the world. Like, Jamaican culture is consumed mostly outside of Jamaica. Our culture, our food, the way we talk. You go to London and everyone talks it. Everyone says Wagwan. Wagwan, salam alaikum. It's crazy. But the jerk seasoning thing, everyone has their own jerk seasoning kind of paste. Essentially, it's a wet rub, right? It's a wet rub that he sells. The wet rub on the thing. It's good, but it's not jerk chicken. The thing is, people will rub that on their chicken, put their chicken in the oven, and be like, "That's jerk chicken." No, jerk chicken is also the cooking process. Is the reason why jerk chicken exists is because the Maroons, who are the original native people in Jamaica, had to cook a certain way to hide the smoke from other people. So they had to cook it in his barrels. They had to cook things underground. Smoke, essentially, that smoke effect. That's the jerking. The seasoning is jerk seasoning, but the jerking is the process. So I think the Levi Reese is fine. I've had it before. There's not many other products like that. I think you go down the world food aisle in the UK, you can probably have other jerk seasoning pastes as well, other than Levi Roots, to be fair. But he's done his thing, Levi Roots, man. He's done his thing. Pep jumping the 115 charges like dodging the Barca. Bro, Barca, the thing about the Spain, yeah, I would love to play football in Spain because if you play for Barcelona or Madrid, you're going to win the league. In England, you can play for Man City and clearly Man City might not win the league for the next 10 years. Who knows? You can play for Man United and Man United haven't won the league in the last 13, 14 years. But if you play for Barcelona or Madrid, you'll probably win the league. You will. And the league is all about those two clubs. So whatever Barcelona do, whatever illegal shit they do, they're always going to be, Spain will always find a way to get them out because Spain need to protect their league, the power of their league and the integrity of their league, which means they will always try to bail out those clubs. Whereas because the competition is so high in England, they don't necessarily need to bail out any specific club because the league will survive without a Man City. The league will survive without an Arsenal. The league will survive without any one individual club because there's so many to choose from. There's so many massive clubs with massive fan bases that are used as the advert for the Premier League, whereas only Barca and Madrid matter in Spain. That's it. That's it. So the whole dynamic over there in Spain is just so strange, guys. But Pep jumped, bro. Pep saw the 115 charges and slid out, bro. He leaned forward like in that Smooth Criminal video and slid out. And that smooth thing is, when everyone saw that Smooth Criminal video with Michael Jackson leaning forward, everyone was like, how did he do that? I'm like, bro, there had to be a rope, bro. There's no way anyone can lean forward like that and lean back. Come on, man. Simon says, yes, I wired all their comms and fiber optics. Bro, Simon's done stuff in his life. Simon, you're gonna tell me that you wrestled with polar bears last summer? Not even the last winter, last summer. That's what Simon's gonna tell me next. No, I believe you, bro. I mean, you're up there. You live up there, bro. And it makes sense that if they were gonna assign anyone to do anything, it will be local tradesmen. So if you, I get it. I believe you, bro. Simon wired. So basically, Simon, you're saying that you put in a few wires and shit that didn't connect, and you did a dodgy job on purpose. Is that what you're saying, Simon? No. Did you say you left a few wires crossed? Is that what you're saying, Simon? United have made 145 million pounds in shirt sales today. Today's this year only. They get 190 million for coming third, and 100 million for qualifying for the Champions League. That's without ticket sales. The Glazers and Ineos will make millions. From the redevelopment program, that's what they're interested in. My mate used to have kidney. Let's just talk about what Simon just said there quickly. United have made 145 million pounds just from shirt sales this year. Yeah. Apparently they get about well over 100 million pounds for coming third from the Premier League, as well as the Champions League money, which we get told is around 100 million, as well as all the revenue that they usually receive. And we spent 250 million pounds net last year without 100 million pounds Champions League money, without that 100+ million finishing third money. So we had at least minus 200 to 300 million pounds less last summer, and we spent 250 million pounds net to get back into the Champions League. This year, we have about 200 to 300 million pounds more than we had last year, but we've only spent 40 million pounds net. Crazy. Who's eating that money? Yes, I've explained a lot of it will go on financing the debt. But if we really finance the debt like we should have, the debt wouldn't be £1 billion. These guys are still eating. While some owners put money in, we are the only football club who's been bought by billionaires whose owners have never put in 1 penny of their own money. Even when they bought the club, they borrowed from a bank using the club as collateral. They didn't even use their own money to buy it. We are the only football club in the world that is owned by apparently billionaires. Every single billionaire who bought the football club used their money, took their money from their bank and said, here's the money, give me the club. Our owners said, we're going to use a loan, and we're going to loan it using the club as collateral, i.e. we're going to put the debt on and load it onto the club rather than onto ourselves. So the debt is owned. We buy the club, but the debt is owned by the club. This is why we don't talk about it. The reason why we don't talk about it, because even thinking about it now, it's absolutely insane that the UK government allowed that to happen to the biggest the biggest sporting institution in their country the UK government allowed that to happen to. This is why I say capitalism is crazy, bro. What people are allowed to buy and sell is insane. So I don't want to get worked up about it, because just thinking about it as a finance guy myself, as a financial advisor myself, thinking about it just winds me up. 15 likes, guys. We got it. We got it. Big up, people. My mate used to have kidney beans in the rice with his jack chicken recipes. Yeah, I mean, that is rice and peas, Simon. Rice and peas is actually rice and beans. So that is it. Rice and peas. When we say rice and peas, yes, there is. You can have rice and peas with what's called gungo. I think you guys will say gungo. Us Jamaican will say gungu. So we say gungo peas. Yeah. So we'll have rice and peas with gungo peas, but the traditional rice and peas dish is actually made with red kidney beans. That's what gives the rice that sort of reddy brown color. It's the kidney beans, yeah, that give the rice the color. That's why when Jamie Oliver did his rice and peas, he took the piss out of us, yeah. And Jamie Oliver did his rice and peas, and you saw white rice with green peas. I was like, nah, he's taking the piss, Jamie Oliver. He's taking the piss. Big up though, Simon. Big up. MJ was protecting these kids from the, whoa, how did we get here? How did we get here, bro? MJ was protecting these kids from the, I ain't gonna lie, off topic. I'm only gonna say this once, Simon. But I now believe that, especially now the Epstein files are out and we know what these guys were doing, and we know this man MJ went over there doing that shit. He wasn't on no boat. He's not on no files. I think the people who called him certain things are those things themselves, and they needed that distraction. I find it interesting the fact that we are controlled and we're owned and governed by people who do those things, and they own the media, they own sports clubs, they own everything. Yeah, own the newspapers. These rich guys who are in these special clubs, and they're the ones who go after the Michael Jacksons and accuse them of doing certain things that they are doing in the darkness, in the shadows. It's crazy. Big up, everyone. Smash the likes. We're gonna end the stream soon. We buried United shirts between the goalposts at their new training facilities, bro. This is funny, bro. That's funny. It's like what? So the Man United shirts are gonna haunt them. They're gonna be, we buried bones. We buried bones. The bones of Man United players. You guys buried shirts, That is funny, bro. If you're superstitious, that shit should all work, Not protected Ineos, but didn't Jim inject like 300 M's or so into the club last season? Yeah. Ineos did that, but not the Glazers. And that is why I say, in some ways, Ineos are similar to the Glazers, but they're not, because Ineos did inject their own money. They bought the training facility, £25 million new training facility. All these things, they did these things. So, and you got to acknowledge that Ineos did these things. The Glazers are Mormons. The government are on the payroll. The Glazers, I'm not going to lie, guys. Those little religious places like Mormonism and all these little sects of like Christianity that are just, because I think Christianity is a religion of white supremacy anyway, right? It's been used that way, and I think it was created for that purpose. But it's things like Mormonism and stuff. I'm more terrified of stuff like that. Those little sects, because Mormonism is hella racist, bro. It is hell. It is. They didn't allow black people in their church up until I think a couple of years ago or something. Crazy, bro. Mormons. This whole financing that Ineos did, the FA will probably plug it in some years' time, like what they did after the Glazers hemorrhaged debt through United. Yeah, there's. You know what? They'll make whatever the Glazers did. If it hasn't been made illegal yet, they'll make it illegal now. That you can't no longer do that again. Because that debt that's been leveraged onto the club, it will never go away. Ever. It's crippled us, and we would never, and you guys need to understand this. We have done everything we've done since then in spite or despite of this crippling effect. This thing has crippled us. It will continue to cripple us. It will be there forever. The only way that this debt will ever go is if we are bought outright and the debt is wiped clean. There is no owner out there that's going to put in £1 billion of his own money. Like the Glazers that are not billionaires like that. So this debt isn't and will never go away ever until we are bought outright. And that's it. And that's the saddest thing about the situation. I told you before, my brother-in-law was a Rasta from Trenchtown, Iraq. Trenchtown. Brother Wizdom, I deserve a badge. Nah, you're making moves though, Simon. I'm not gonna lie. I like your convos, bro, for sure. A badge of honor. These billionaires are only interested in one thing. I know it. I don't understand why we can't just say you can have £1 million, you can have £10 million, you can have £100 million, you can have 6, 7, 8, 900 million pounds. You can have all that money, but the minute you become a billionaire, the minute you have £1 billion, and £1 billion, as you know, I remind people, is 1,000 million. That's a lot of money. After that point, you'll be taxed at 70%. As in, you can still make more money, but a lot of it will go back to the government, who will then use it to improve the country and improve the lives of everyone else that you need, because you can't live in a country by yourself. But no, we live in a world where we believe that human beings have worked hard to be trillionaires. And let me explain to you what £1 trillion is, because £1 billion is 1,000 million. A trillion is 1,000 billion, or 1,000 million. There is nobody who's worked hard enough in a little 40 years or 50 years that needs or deserves £1 trillion or to be valued or worth £1 trillion. It is sick. It is evil. It's evil, guys. Because money does not even exist. Money is not even real. So we create this concept called money. Yeah. And we then decided to give all of it to one or two individuals and then tell the rest of us that we have to work hard to get it. It's sick. And our relationship with money is so crazy that we look at these billionaires and trillionaires and we go, yeah, Elon Musk has worked hard. Without Elon Musk, what are you saying, bro? He's not that smart. He just buys companies. The people who are smart already work for these companies. They're doing the job. He bought these companies using his dad's money. His dad gave him £200 million, Elon Musk. He hasn't worked for his money. You guys should have woken up, yeah? Everyone should have woken up when these guys created digital money. When the digital money started being made, I thought the world would wake up. Money isn't real. These guys sat on their desks and created currency out of thin air.
assigned a value to it and told everyone that it was real. Money is only real because you make it real. Anything has value because you make sure it has value. You add value to it. The only time money was ever real is when it was linked to actual physical things. When money was gold coins, it was real. Real. When money became 1, 0s, 2, 3, and just numbers in an account that you just moved from one place to another, it's not real anymore. And when these guys created their own currency, and their digital currencies is worth more than an African currency, real currency, or their digital currency that doesn't exist is more valuable than the aluminium in an African mine. More valuable than the physical aluminium. You can use your digital currency, buy physical. What? We've all been fucked and royally duped by the people above us. And there's nothing we could do about it. And that is frustrating as hell, bro. Frustrating as hell. My best friend when in high school was half Jamaican. He got bullied at school, but he was my friend from young. And I had his back. We're still friends today. That's crazy. I had something similar, Simon. When I came to this country, young little Jamaican boy, I got bullied. You know, my Jamaican accent. I said cat rather than cat. Why are you saying cat? Why are you saying all these words in this funny way? Why are you saying these things? It took a while, but I trained the Jamaican accent out of me because of my bullying. And plus, I was here from a little toddler. But there was a guy in my school, a young white boy in my school, and he didn't give a fuck. He was just my brethren, bro. And at the time when I came to this country, I was like, these white people you guys are weird, bro. If you guys smell weird, you look weird. I'm a little Jamaican guy. I didn't know about no white people. The first time I saw white people, I was like, white people look funny. But then one of the first friends I had in school was a young white boy who befriended me. He took me on his wing, showed me some shit. Proper helped me out, man. And one of those sort of hippie white boys. Like, he didn't care about race and all these things. My best friend, bro. So, I hear it. I hear it. Two of my good friends, actually, in life, in my past, have been white guys. One in my childhood and one in my sort of more adolescence. Proper, down-to-earth, real good people. Invited me over to their home, made me meet their mom, ate their food. All of these things. You know, still at a time where, you know, the no Irish, no dogs, no whatever. It was dying down, but, you know, it was still around. His name was James, actually. I remember his name. His name was James, bro. Big up James, bro. I don't see him. I don't speak to him now, but if I ever saw him again, man, it'll be cool. These billionaires don't have their money here to get taxed. That's why Sir Jim has these offshore accounts and all these things that you're talking about, Simon. Like, it's the fact that these guys, these Brexit guys, can talk about Brexit, talk about leaving the EU while having all their money in the EU and living in the EU. It's like, oh, I hate being manipulated, bro. One thing that I've learned to do, is put frameworks in my mind, to just double check whether I'm being manipulated or not. Like, sometimes, if you follow the money, you know, when the movies say follow the money, sometimes guys just follow the money and you realize what's really going on sometimes. Because I'm a financial advisor. So my job is to advise people like Jim Ratcliffe to take out an offshore bond. Lots of my clients have offshore bonds. And the reason why I would advise my clients to take out an offshore bond is because you only pay tax, UK tax, once the fund is back on shore and you've withdrawn money from it. So you can time it in a way that you pay less tax or even no tax, depending on the timing of the withdrawal of the investment. Unfortunately, liquid cash is more easily taxable. Hence, people get illiquid assets that get tax benefits. Yes, Atro. That is true. But one thing about inheritance tax, with inheritance tax, you have to declare your assets as well. So inheritance tax will take all of that into account. But in terms of tax is usually taken from, most tax is paid income. Yes, you get capital gains tax, which taxes gains, but it's usually tax on earned income. And income could be in the form of paid salary, it could be in the form of interest payments, could be in the form of dividend payments from companies. What's interesting is that when you get paid dividends and interest, i.e., most rich people who own shares and stuff, they get dividends rather than income. Dividend taxation is less than income tax. And the people who get paid dividends are richer than people who get paid income through their salary. Think about it. If you're getting dividends, it usually means you own a nice amount of shares and you're getting paid, right? I've always said as a financial advisor, all tax, whether it's tax on assets, on dividends, interest, or paid income, should be the same. It is clear as a financial advisor, I'm telling you this, rich people and people who owns rich people who get paid in a certain way, i.e., have dividend income and interest income, and who have certain assets, pay a much less tax, a much lower rate of tax than the average human being. Buying companies is a nice way of putting it, Chosen. Yeah, bro. It's true. All right, guys. This convo is going different ways. I said to myself, I wasn't going to do too much political stuff because I feel like we will go and we will be talking forever, guys. We will be talking forever. My wife is Southeast Asian. Big up, Simon. It's good, man. See the people underneath the color. Understand the color, though. Understand what the color brings. Understand what hardships the race could bring, but don't hold them to just the color, bro. Just people are people, bro. I've always said we are all a shade of brown. Every single one of us is just a shade of brown, from the lightest brown, the Seamus brown, to the darkest brown that looks black, with all the shade of it. We all have melanin. We just have, some of us have loads of it, and some of us have hardly any of it. And that's it. Somebody decided to categorize us in a racial hierarchy. And that's it. And that's fucked with us forever now. Because it doesn't make any sense. There'll be people in India who are darker than me. There'll be people in India who are darker than me, and they won't be called black because they're not from sub-Saharan Africa. So black isn't a color. It doesn't even make sense, black. Black doesn't even make sense as a race. You have someone like Meghan Markle who looks white with freckles, and she'll be called black. Yet someone darker than her, who's brown, who lives in Iran, is what? None of it makes sense. It's all socially constructed. It's dumb. It's interesting how I find that some of the Irish and Jamaicans, they sometimes connect. Irish people and Jamaicans, not always. People are different, but often they connect. The The way that some Jamaicans speak in patois, it reminds me of Irish. The way that we use our T's, like tink. Adapt me, I think. We say tink, and the same way the Irish say, I think. We use our T's similar to the way the Irish uses their T's. You can sometimes hear some Irishness in Jamaican patois. Anyway, guys, big up the chat. Didn't think it was going to go this way at the end, but Arsenal slapped Man City because we forgot what we were watching that game. I guess it was a decent game from a neutral perspective, quite boring because Man City did absolutely nothing. We are going to have a show on Monday. It will be StreamYard, so we'll be using the same thing we used today, StreamYard. Hopefully, Atro, you're going to be around, so you can jump on and we can just chop it up as well and go through all the latest news and all these things. I can't imagine, unless loads of things happen during the day tomorrow, I can't imagine there's lots of news to really talk about. We'll probably just reflect on the game and start talking about the season ahead. So big up the chat, big up the channel, big up the community. It was good, man. Good conversations, deep. Wow, we got deep, bro. We went deep towards the end, man. Pause. We went deep into the pum pum. Yo. Yeah, man. 16 likes, man. We did it. 700 subscribers. We need 300 before the end of the year. Can we get it, guys? Big up the community. It was absolutely amazing. And I will see you guys all on Monday, guys. Atcho,
Threw up the goal.
Diamond.
I think Will passed me the ball.
You know, and everyone else who
Shot,
just
scored.
Nice and brief.
Oh, yeah. I'm done talking. I want to talk the rest of the day. I don't want to open my mouth and didn't say anything.